been lost and alone in the city at night. I know, getting high, feeling low, and it's out of your control. You should know that I won't leave you. I'll stay beside you. I'll never let you go. You've been lost and alone in the city at night. I know, but I will guide you home. Letting love pass by, something I've done so many times. Trying to keep my head high while everybody's dancing. 'Cause I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. Since you took hold of my broken heart, just like a miracle. You're the angel, the one I've been waiting for. You're the angel, the one that pulled me out of the dark.
Hey, and good evening, guys. It's nice to see everybody already here in chat. Shout out to everybody who made it. Obviously, the group will get here as we keep going. It is the 2nd of May, and we're going to talk football. One thing I want you guys to pay attention to is this far right corner here. Let me fix this for you guys. I'm going to be keeping track of every player that's up here. I will definitely be talking to you guys in the chat. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. I want to make sure we do this correctly. I am still working. Thank you very much. It's nice to get to all you guys. You write your questions in the chat. I will get to it eventually. I'm not going to start with chat right away. I'll get there, though, I promise. Screen is black. You guys can't see anything. Is that what you're telling me? I'm good. Okay. JJ Callahan. Okay, can you guys see me clearly before I get started? I want to make sure everybody can see me, because on my screen I can see me. Okay. Thank you very much. Shout out to the rest of you guys. All right, so first we're going to start with this. So Colorado this evening, they just got word, hey, we're getting Savelle Smalls. And everybody who's making a video is telling me Colorado got a 5-star player in Savelle Smalls. And if you look and you see any recruiting website, you're going to see those 5 stars right there. But if you look, they adjusted him to a 3-star athlete. Now, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you're going to say they're making him 3 stars because he's going to the Pac-12. Well, buddy, he's in the Pac-12. So they're not reducing his stars because he's going to Colorado. There's not some conspiracy against Savelle Smalls. If you go and look for his huddle film, careful. Half his huddle film is him catching passes, running routes, and looking like he's mossing people. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They're telling me this guy is a clutch defensive end, an edge rusher, but when I watch the tape, he's playing receiver everywhere he goes. Maybe this is why Seydou Traore, this is why he left. No, this is not true. It's not why he left, but it's hilarious to me because they tell me this is a 5-star player. Now, look, guys, he's a hell of an athlete. He really is. He's much more athletic than the majority of players out there, but he's never put it together on the football field. And this is what I'm talking about. These are these guys who go out and test really well, and then when the game comes on, they don't do much. And it makes sense to try to tell me about potential at quarterback because we can teach you better things. But, I mean, this man has been in college for a while. Now, good kid, high character. I believe in him as a player. Or as a person, I should say. I mean, he was all academic Pac-12. But when I look at him making an impact on the field, everybody's talking about, this is a 5-star signing. And I'm looking at it going, this is depth. He has added depth. He will not be in the starting lineup. I just don't see it. He was 4th string at Washington, and he'd been there multiple years. Now remember, this is 2020, his freshman year. I want you to go back to 2019 at Washington. Their coach was Chris Peterson. And Chris Peterson, all-time great coach from Boise, had been at Washington for a long time. He retires. But his last big recruit before he leaves, Savelle Smalls. And this is a 5-star guy, and you think, man, we just got the guy. You're a Washington fan. And you get him, nothing. Go check his Pro Football Focus. Check everything you want. You're not going to find a quarterback hurry, a quarterback sack. You're not going to find anything. And that's fine if you're a defensive tackle in a 3 technique. And you're just plugging gaps and you're just playing up there. This is not what's happening. Players are spilling things to him, and he's not getting it done. Right? And when I say spilling, I'm referring to stunts, somebody taking on a kick out the wrong way, making plays bounce to the outside. If you don't know football terminology, I apologize. But what I'm saying is, this is a guy who should be in a 7 and 9 technique. This guy should be way on the outside, in a 2-point stance, rushing the quarterback, causing havoc, wrecking havoc, and it's not happening. And it hasn't ever happened. He's a hell of an athlete, though. He looks the part. I think he's 6'3". I'm probably going to say he's 250 today. He's gained a lot of weight. He's put it on. But remember this. When he got recruited, the defensive coordinator at Washington was Pete Kwiatkowski. I call him K-Ski. So Pete K-Ski, he's the defensive coordinator now at Texas. But Pete recruited him, and the very first year he gets there, Pete bounces. Pete gets hired by Sarkisian, because they have a relationship. So you got Peterson retires, Pete K-Ski, he leaves to Texas, and then you're left with Jimmy Lake. Now, Jimmy Lake was his other recruiter. Excuse the dog, I apologize. Jimmy Lake was the other recruiter. And Jimmy Lake becomes the head coach. He gets fired. So this is all relationships. You have no other connection to Washington. Savelle Smalls wants to leave. Now, I give him all the credit in the world, because everywhere I look, this young man did not make the starting lineup, did not live up to the hype of a 5-star player, okay, by any means. Not a single sack in his career. You guys want to talk about, oh, we just lost so-and-so. Dude, this man has never sniffed a sack. Okay, slow down before you anoint a 5-star player. But he's got 5-star damn character, because he never once complained to the media. He never once went to Twitter and started complaining about his coaches. Nothing. He quiet. Cool, calm, and collected. Great at class. Great at everything he's doing. I think this is a great player to add to your locker room, because even if he's not a starter, he understands his role at depth. Now, he's going to be in that 2 deep at Colorado. He'll be in the rotation. But as far as being an impact 5-star, he's not it. He really isn't. I'm more excited if I start looking at the players because of how young they are. Guys like Amari McNeil right here from Tennessee, or Chaz Wallace at Old Dominion. Like these guys, ODU just brought us 2 defensive linemen, teammates. I don't know where the other one's at. The hell's going on? And they might get a 3rd. Oh, it's he's here somewhere. This is on 3, dude. We can never trust on 3. On 3 doesn't have anything accurate. Let me get this out of here. Let me pull up the right team. Go to Pac-12. I apologize. They don't know what they're doing. Stay away from those guys. I just picked the Oregon Ducks. Oregon Ducks. Everybody be like, oh my God. But yeah, when you look in here, where's D at? D's right here. Devon Harris. So, Devon Harris, Chaz Wallace, those guys are going to be here for a long time, and they actually have sacks in their career. Now, yeah, they played at ODU. It's a little different. But Savelle Smalls is all potential. Nothing come to fruition, and I'm not mad at him for it. I'm just saying, I watch every guy on YouTube post a video and say, Colorado just got a 5-star. Colorado just got a 5-star. At what point do we recognize that we got the stars wrong, bro? You think guys are getting 5 stars and not getting a single sack in 2 years? 3 years? 2020, 2021, 22? Come on, man. Good kid. Hell of a player. But not a 5-star. All right. Let me get to you guys' questions before I move on to the next player. I got people saying, yep, you'll stay shortly. Shout out to you guys. Did your Fresno State boys get picked up? I haven't heard anything. If you're referring to draft picks from Fresno State, a lot of guys didn't get drafted. Obviously, Jordan Mims is still waiting for a call, trying to get into camp. There's a couple receivers waiting, but Jalen Moreno-Cropper, he signed a deal with the Cowboys. So he'll be in camp with the Cowboys. We'll see how he does. Hell of a football player. But we'll see what happens with those Fresno State kids. Eureka got to do homework. All right, do your homework, man. Get it done. Till Valhalla, brother. Hey, I ain't trying to die. LSU fan here, just wishing the best for CU. Keep them coming, right? Shout out to the Army Strength. Your screen is black. Got it. Lima Charlie. That's good. Loud and clear. Apologies. Need to get them up to speed. Yeah, you want to make the best out of players. A lot of coaches feel like they can do that. Yeah, he's a tight end. He is a tight end. So let's get it out there. So Smalls, to me, when I watch his huddle tape, he looks like a receiving tight end, guys. I don't know if he's switching positions. I don't think he's playing both ways. This isn't Travis Hunter. Although the caliber of athlete that he is, I'm telling you, I watched his huddle tape and said, yo, is this guy playing tight end? And I know the big rumor out there right now, and that's Varkey's Gums, right? Varkey's Gums decommits from Arkansas. Now, I'm on record for saying Varkey's Gums, one of the best tight ends to hit the transfer portal. If you guys don't know who he is, he just left North Texas, played great in the American, Conference USA. Is that where they play? Yeah. It's where they played. Anyways, he's so good. I'm like, wait, he's going to transfer to Colorado. I know it. And I called this a couple weeks ago. And he didn't transfer to Colorado. He committed to Arkansas. And then today, he decommits from Arkansas. And if you go to his Twitter, bruh, he's taking a trip to Cal. All right, now shout out to Cal. Because Cal has a head coach, I think what's his name? Wilcox? They've had the same head coach forever. Justin Wilcox. He's been there a while. And I don't know if Cal's throwing around money. I don't know if Cal is throwing the bag at people. But Cal has gotten some remarkable transfers here in the spring. And the only reason Justin Wilcox still has a job is because they're dominating Stanford. And that rivalry is the game, right? Cal is beating the hell. I think they've won 3 years in a row now. They've beaten Stanford 3 years in a row. So Justin Wilcox is moving, shaking and moving. Varkey's Gums, how do you leave Arkansas and go on a trip to Cal? Here's my problem with you. When I read earlier, the reason he selected Arkansas was because he said, well, I get to stay close to home. He's from Houston. He said, I get to stay in the South, close to home, and I can still play high-level football. I got you, bruh. Everybody's excited. He decommitted. Oh, is he going to Colorado? He's going to Colorado. He's going to Cal. That's a hell of a degree. Don't get me wrong. Cal Berkeley, that's a hell of a... But I want to know, are they throwing him that bag? I just need to know what they're doing, bruh. I just need to know from the deep down bottom of my heart. So, shout out to them. But yeah, Varkey's Gums is available. Everybody's excited about it. We'll see what he does, but I think he might go somewhere else. You don't know. Oh, by the way, his teammate... He had another teammate of his, what's his name? Robertson. Great kid. Cameron Robertson? Let me leave this up right here. I think I can just click on North Texas from here. They're in the American now. Right? Yeah. Moving to the American this year, I think. There it is, Cam Robertson. Now, Cam Robertson is a hell of a young defensive lineman. This is a stud. And he wanted to stay in Texas. Going to SMU. Once again, you want to talk about throwing the bag. Pony Express is in full force. All them Trev Alberts and Eric Dickerson days, this is the real truth here. They can pay players now, and SMU's got deep pockets. They got that oil money. Their transfer portal class, second to none? Second to some? Second to one? What are we talking about? Cam Robertson going to SMU. I saw Varkey's Gums' response to it. I think he did something. He put like a fist or he did some type of symbol emoji with it. You know, the kids writing emojis these days. But for me, seeing Varkey's Gums give his buddy props, when I saw him decommit, the first thing I thought was, man, he really wants to be close to home. Maybe he found out how much money Cam Robertson got paid, and he's like, oh, I can get that kind of bag going to SMU? But he's still taking the trip. There's an appeal there to play in the Power 5, to test yourself against the best, right? But going to Cal, they need everybody. Cal needs everything. So shout out to them. They do have a good quarterback, Samuel Jackson. Sam Jackson, I think he's the 5th or the 4th. Sam Jackson transferring from TCU. He was the 3rd string quarterback. There's no shame in being the 3rd string quarterback at TCU. No shame, right? That's Max Duggan eventually got the job because of Chandler Morris getting injured. Chandler Morris is there, and he's a bona fide stud. Chandler Morris, he's fragile. I called him Chris Chandler, right? I called him that the other day. But Chandler Morris holding that job, pushing Sam Jackson to Cal. Then Cal just signed Ben Finley from NC State. This is all in the last 48 hours or so. So you're starting to see transfers go to Cal, and I'm telling you, one transfer, Cal's got an NFL safety that just came in from San Diego State, and I hope everybody understands the significance of this. And they just got Wyckoff. So this right here is a trifecta that everybody would never see coming for Cal. Getting Matthew Wyckoff, this was a starting offensive lineman in the SEC. I think he was on the all-freshman team in the SEC. Matthew Wyckoff is a complete stud, and he leaves A&M. I don't blame him, complete shit show. But he leaves A&M, and he's going to a bigger shit show. He's going to Cal. But it's that degree, or is it Wilcox just doing what he can? But you see Patrick Morris down here? Now, he's only 5'11". They say he's 160. He's much bigger. He's about 170, 180. But this is a safety. If he's playing corner, that's news to me. I could have sworn he played safety. Free safety. Maybe he does play corner. Hey, man, sometimes Rico doesn't know. Don't quote me on it. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. But Patrick Morris is a professional player. He should have went to the draft this year. He said he was coming back, and then he transfers up to Cal. I think his brother's on the coaching staff as a graduate assistant, and so he's up there just being with family, doing great things. I ain't even mad at him, but it is what it is. So Cal pulling the bag. Varkey's Gums might be going to Cal, not to Colorado. Just heads up. All right, don't go out there. Let's see what we got here. Going back to the chat. Give me a second here, guys. You have to get it. Sal Sonorini. Hey, Sal Sonorini. If you guys don't know Sal, he's a defensive line coach, defensive tackle, defensive end coach, somebody like this. If you ever watch Colorado practice clips, if you ever wanted to know what's going on at Colorado, and you see an old man just cussing everybody out, that's Sal. Sal is straight out of an episode of, anything. He's straight out of Goodfellas. He's prototypical, stereotypical Italian dude, and he's cussing out everybody. I'm not even mad at Sal. Shout out to him. Yeah, I was going to say Sopranos, an episode of The Sopranos. That's Sal all day. I think he's hilarious. Great coach. Even Coach Brewster will challenge him. Yeah, so Brewster being a great tight ends coach, been all over the world, coached everywhere. I don't know if he's a mercenary or what, but he's more mobile than somebody in the military, man. I've been in the military over 20 years. I've moved, I counted it one time, I've lived in 36 different homes in the last 20 years. A lot of those moves were self-inflicted. Just, I was at one place, decided to move. I hadn't even moved duty station. I'm just moving houses. I'm telling you right now, Coach Brewster, he's giving me a run for my money, man. That guy's been everywhere. Try to Google him. Try to look at his Wikipedia, and it's just Brewster's been tight ends coach everywhere. So I hope he sticks it out and sticks around. But shout out to him. Change is good for Smalls. Maybe so. I believe so. I believe going to practice and just getting the snot beat out of you every day is important for players. I think they need to learn how to, and don't misquote me here, but they need to learn how to die on the practice field. So when they get to those games, they know what it takes in the third and fourth quarter, and they're not quitting because they dug that deep and they pushed themselves that far. I think a lot of these players need to understand that to win, you have to be working harder than others on other teams. Not just the guys around you, but everybody else that you're going to be up against, right? I always like to tell my guys, hey, give me 110%. And what I mean by that is give me everything you got and then give me that extra 10% you didn't even know you had, right? A lot of these new Colorado guys need to show up, and metal sharpens metal. And they need to push their teammates and understand, hey, we're not competing with one another. We're competing against all these other guys we've never seen or met. And I hope they can embrace that because metal does sharpen metal. They need it bad. So, do you think Alton McCaskill still coming to see you? Okay, so if you guys don't know, I talk to a lot of players. I have the inside connections. I talk to players on TikTok. They come and watch me. They come and talk to me all the time. They send me DMs. Even today, I was talking to Savion Washington, starting right tackle for Colorado. We were talking back and forth. He wrote to me and he was like, hey, yo, Rico, man, I got jacked. That's what he said. I got jacked. And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about because the kids don't talk quite like we do. So where I'm from, you got jacked. Like somebody took something from you. But I know this kid is not saying that to me. All he wrote was, I got jacked. And I was like, he got jacked shit. He got jacked up. He got jacked. Maybe it was a typo. And then I was going about my day. And I do a 5-mile run every day. I'm running and I go, oh, I know what he's saying. He's saying he got Jack Bailey to join the team. He wanted me to give him credit for getting Jack Bailey to join Colorado. I got Jack to come over because I was saying it was the Kent State head coaches, right? I was saying it was Sean Lewis and OB, Bill O'Boyle, the offensive line coach. I was saying they saw the team, they assessed the players and said, yo, I know a guy better than everybody here. We need to go get this right guard that can start for us. We need Jack Bailey in here. I know it says 2 stars. Don't let that shit fool you. This is a 2-year starter. This is a guy who started all the games last year at Kent State. He knows the offense. He knows the scheme. He knows the coaches. He knows the terminology. And most importantly, he knows the expectations of a new coach. All these new players coming in don't know what the coach expects of them and what they need to do to succeed. And he can tell all the other players, hey, look, when Coach OB says this, this is what we need to do, right? When Sean Lewis says this, this is the expectation. A lot of times, as coaches, we need players on the field that are extensions of ourselves, that can do and reduplicate what we're teaching them to do. And I believe that Jack Bailey's one of those guys. But Savelle Washington wanted me to be straight, and I'm going to put it on the record. Look, I'm the reason he's here. And this is Ash, by the way. She's making a guest appearance. She loves me. She's kind of sad I'm not giving her attention. I apologize, guys. Sorry for the interruption. Nonetheless, Savelle Washington is trying to let me know that, hey, I did it. Now, that's a good point. And I want everybody to remember this. If you're a Colorado fan and you think Coach Prime is calling all these players, all the Florida State players to come join the team, all the ODU players to come join the team, that's not how it works, guys. They can't call a player unless they're in the portal, right? The only people that can talk to the players are other players. And that's that tampering everybody's worried about. Who's tampering? Not the coaches. The best recruiter you have is a player. Can you imagine Savelle Washington calling up an old friend of his who he's been playing with for the last 2 years, calls him up and says, yo, bro, I'm out here at practice. Let me tell you, my right tackle, my right guard, the guy next to me, he's blowing all the assignments. He sucks. Every time he pulls, he can't do the kick out right, can't do this, can't even get a damn down block done. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, bro, I promise you, you transfer over here, you'll be starting. I promise you. Get in the portal, transfer over here, we're going to dominate this thing. That's all it takes, is a teammate to call you and say, hey, bro, we're doing this. Well, how do you think all these Florida State kids are getting here? Yes, Coach Prime will call them up once they hit the portal. Yeah, they're going to go on the media and say, yeah, Coach Prime is the reason I'm here. I'm inspired to be with my coaches, all this shit. Nah, bro. It is players talking to players. I have them in my DMs telling me so. So now that being said, Alton McCaskill was the question. Alton McCaskill is a friend of the program. He follows my channel on TikTok. I got over 52,000 followers on TikTok. And I get about 2-3 million views a week. We're just starting here on YouTube. We'll be here. But I'm telling you right now, we're coming, right? No, but in all seriousness, when I talked to Alton McCaskill the very first time, it was very positive. Everything was there. This man gave me radio silence. I reached out to him. I said, yo, bro, heard you're going to Colorado, man. Just let me know. I want the scoop. I want the scoop first. I can't have all these other guys taking the shine from me. Give me the scoop first. I'll put it out there for the world to see. This man gave me radio silence. I ain't mad at him. But I heard he's taking trips to Arizona State. Look, guys, I'm not saying that I'm surprised, because Alton McCaskill is the top-notch running back in the transfer portal. I'm sorry. This is a 1,300-yard rusher in the transfer portal. Him and Ben Watson really impressed me in the transfer. And that's another guy who just transferred from ODU to Memphis. But anyways, when I saw Alton McCaskill was going to Arizona State for a trip, I said, this can't be real. First off, shout out to Kenny Dillingham for doing what he does. But guys, Arizona State has 2 really good running backs in the transfer portal. Cameron Scadaboo being an FCS All-American, a bowling ball, and everybody saw it. In their spring game, nobody tackled Cameron Scadaboo. No, not the first guy. And I talked to Scadaboo. He's in my DMs as well. Follows the channel. They're all friends of the channel. I appreciate it. But Alton McCaskill, I'd be curious to see where he goes. Don't know if he's coming to Colorado. It'd be a great addition. He'd be great anywhere. But I think you got to pursue your dreams. And some of these kids have dreams of getting that money, especially a running back. You know what I started to think, guys? I think running backs need to get real NIL money because the chances of them getting drafted are slim to none. I just saw the NFL draft. Only 18 running backs got drafted. Dude, 33 wide receivers get drafted, but 18 running backs. And they said it was a deep running back class. And there's stud running backs out there that did not get drafted. Shout out to Keaton Mitchell, Xavier Holiday. I could go on and on and on. Labrum didn't get drafted out of Marshall. That dude rushed for like 1,200 yards. They don't care. They're not drafting you. They can just get you as an undrafted free agent. Titus Swin, well, he got kicked out of Wyoming early, but Titus Swin, stud. Xavier Valladay, by the way. Xavier Valladay? Yeah, Valladay. And Titus Swin. Both former Wyoming running backs. Wyoming's got a hell of a pedigree of running backs. And that's why they got Harrison Whaley this year. He just transferred in from Northern Illinois. And Harrison Whaley is going to be a beast at Wyoming at running back. You guys will see. He's going to put up 1,200 yards. And you guys will be like, where did I hear that name? Where did I hear that name? Rico knows. I'm telling you. All right, let me get back to these questions before I keep going. Arkansas tight end is dominant. Yeah, so was Knox. Knox scored like 7 touchdowns last year at Arkansas. He just transferred to South Carolina. So they're trying to find an answer. Norcross, Georgia checking in. Shout out to Norcross. Guys, they got a hell of a football team. They're 7A. They're pretty decent. 2 years ago, I thought they were great. I really liked watching them. Did Trey Lance Hairline get traded from San Francisco? I have no idea, man. I don't pay attention to that. Pardon me, I'm going to keep reading. Lawrenceville, shout out to you. You guys are worried about my hairline. Thanks for being here. I'd appreciate it if the troll stayed out. By the tape? Oh, by the tape. Savelle Smalls. By the tape, this gentleman says, the new defensive end, Savelle Smalls, after watching his tape, I'd put him at linebacker, tight end. Yeah, two-way player. He looks very athletic. I don't know if he can play linebacker, but man, if we pick him up, we can do it. Derek McClendon's just as athletic. He's a hell of an edge rusher. You guys see it there. Kennedy, we're going to see what he's about, what he's got. Okay? Let me go back here just so we don't see all the outgoing as well. I can filter it better. You can't filter it on 24/7, but you can filter it here on On3. I don't trust either website. Neither one of them is accurate. Somebody said they got something against Colorado. They don't. They just don't have enough people allocated to the transfer portal page. They're all in on recruiting. They got 3 dudes updating these pages, and they don't know what they're talking about. All right, JSU players hip, the CU players. Here's the thing. You guys need to know that Coach Prime came out and said, hey, it's a shame NFL teams didn't draft more HBCU players. And I'm going to tell you guys, I don't agree with his take at all. I think it's bullshit. I think Coach Prime is ridiculous for saying that for a couple of reasons. Number one, you were just a head coach at Jackson State. And when you left Jackson State and went to Colorado, the cupboard's bare. You wiped out the roster. How many Jackson State players did you bring with you to the Power 5 level? How many? Half a dozen? I got Cam. I got Brown. I got an offensive lineman. I'm forgetting his name. I apologize. I could check it. Shedeur, but that doesn't count as a Jackson State player. That's your son. Hunter's not a Jackson State player. There we go. We got a wide receiver. Like, I can go down. How many Jackson State players you bring? If you didn't bring Jackson State players to Colorado, they're not good enough for the Power 5. How the hell are they good enough for the NFL? You don't even want to bring them to the Pac-12, but now they're supposed to magically make it to the NFL. And I'm an advocate for HBCU players. If you guys watch my live stream of the NFL draft, what do I talk about? I'm like, yo, when is Lamb getting taken, bro? I'm in here just naming HBCU guys. Like, man, are they not going to get taken? But the nerve of him to say, oh, them NFL teams need to give these guys a shot. No, they don't. Here's what needs to happen. HBCUs are the lowest level of FCS football. They are the lowest echelon. They're not competitive with the UIWs, North Dakota States, and South Dakota. They can't deal in the same field with these guys. But if you get them a national TV contract and you get them on TV, they'll get better players. Get them a TV deal. The HBCU teams need a TV deal. They'll get better players if they're on TV. But they're not on TV, they're not going to get better players. They don't even compete for the playoffs. They're not going to prove that they belong at that upper echelon of the FCS. I'm telling you right now, one of my boys, Big B Sports, he does a podcast, and Big B Sports says, hey man, they're lower than Division II. They're lower than FCS as far as talent goes. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, man, he might be right. There's some damn good players at the HBCU level. Damn good players. They're not going to get drafted. If they ever want to make it in the NFL, they got to earn it. They got to go out there and make it as undrafted free agents. No NFL team is going to waste a draft pick on them. It's a competition level thing. And it sucks because I'm going to get a bunch of lectures. Oh, Rico, it's about the band. It's about the atmosphere and the culture. No, it's not. It's about universities not investing in their sports departments. That's what it comes down to. So I didn't like Coach Prime coming out and saying that. That pissed me off only because you just showed up and you didn't bring all your Louis with you. Your Louis wasn't all Jackson State. It wasn't all North Carolina A&T. It wasn't all, Central. It wasn't anybody. No, you showed up and then you said, man, let me go get them damn SEC kids. So just keep it real. That's all I'm saying. It bothers me. It bothers me. JSU would have beat CU last year, IMO. We'll never know. We'll never know. We'll never know. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk to me. Let's go back here. Houston media is sad and mad because they say Coach Prime gets recruits through kin. Well, I don't know about all that. Coaches recruit the way they recruit. Let me talk about, it's not really through kin. Let's talk about Omarion Cooper. Omarion Cooper. How did he get here? How did he get to Colorado? Anybody want to take a wild guess? He's going to tell you, Omarion Cooper's going to tell you he got to Colorado because he's from the 249, right? Is he from the 249? Is he? Is that what it is? Or 239. 239, the area code. Naples. They're going to tell me Lehigh Acres, we from the same city. We're from the... No, bro. No, it ain't about that. Sorry, my dog is on me again. I'm sorry, guys. Come on, mamas. Do you guys know who James Chaney is? James Chaney's in charge of player development. James Chaney is in charge of player development at Colorado. Guess where he was the high school head coach at? Lehigh Senior. He coached Omarion Cooper in high school. This is a relationship-driven transfer. This ain't kin. I don't like that term. I think that's bullshit. This isn't nepotism. This is a guy he coached you. And guess what? He's not the only one who does this, okay? I want you guys to know this right now. When Matt Rule was coaching at Baylor, Matt Rule went and hired Joey McGuire, a great high school coach in Texas, because he knew he had a pipeline. He knew all the other coaches. And Joey McGuire was great. Now, Joey McGuire leaves Baylor, and he's now the head coach at Texas Tech. Great high school coach. When you start looking at these players, and you start watching where they're coming from, it's relationship driven. And now when Matt Rule gets back to Nebraska, what's the first thing he does? Goes and hires Texas high school coaches. Because he knows this is going to be a pipeline from Texas to Nebraska. And he's going to be hitting Texas hard. So if Coach Prime has a pipeline to Florida, more power to him. I want you to know it's really difficult to get players to leave Florida to get all the way to Colorado. To go through all the SEC states and get to Colorado. Now, Coach Prime can do it. He's got the allure. He's got the name. He's got the charisma. He's got the riz, as the kids say. This man is charismatic. I'm letting you know right now. But the reality is, it's very difficult to have a pipeline out of Florida. Coach Prime can do it. Nebraska can't do it. And that's why Scott Frost failed. That's why Scott Frost coming out of UCF couldn't do it. I talked about this the other day. Scott Frost got there. He was undefeated at UCF. He's getting kids out of Orlando, Jacksonville. Hey, man, come on up. Hey, we're killing it at UCF. All right, undefeated Scott Frost. Get to Nebraska. You ain't getting no kids in Nebraska. Not from your pipeline. And that's the problem, is you got to understand where you're getting your recruits from. Okay? And Prime's got a plan. Coach Prime's got a plan. His assistants and some of his guys, as long as he keeps them there, they got those pipelines in place. Right? It's just the way it is in recruiting right now. It's all relationship driven. So I hope people understand that. Let me go back. I'm going to keep reading here. Yep, 239. Yeah, I got you guys. Hey, subtle mistake. Don't get mad at me. I've been all around this world, man. High school coach. And remember this, guys. I'm talking about Colorado tonight. But you guys need to know something about me. I cover 133 teams. I cover every FBS level team, and I can talk about them in depth at this, detail-oriented process about every single team. So for those of you who are in here and you are diehard Coach Prime supporters, or you're a Colorado fan to the fullest, please understand where I'm coming from. I do know the team. I do know the players. I talk to them all the time. Several of the coaches follow me on TikTok. I talk to a lot of the players every single day. I do know Colorado football. I am a supporter of the program, but I'm also impartial. So sometimes I'm going to say something, and you guys are going to be like, man, this guy's a hater. Like the other day, just this morning, I posted a video, and I said, man, I think Colorado's going to win 4 to 6 games. And I said, if they go to a bowl game, I'm ecstatic. It's a hell of a season. And these dudes attack me like I hate Colorado. They don't understand. I'm one of the biggest supporters. Everybody in Colorado, I'm positive as hell about Colorado. And they don't care. Rico, you don't know nothing. And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? This guy goes, we're winning 10 games. I'm like, dude, are you wearing shoulder pads? Because I've talked to the players who are wearing shoulder pads. Okay? Talking about winning national, we're going to be in the playoffs. We could beat USC. I'm like, yo, bro, it is what it is. And we're talking 2 different languages right now. I'm being real with you. I'm watching 4- and 5-star wide receivers leave USC this offseason. I'm watching 4- and 5-star wide receivers leave USC. I'm watching 4-star linemen leave USC. I don't see that happening at Colorado. They don't have that kind of depth. They're not losing those players. We're excited to get them. We're here to build something. But if you guys want me to keep it, you want me to keep it a buck? You want me to keep it 100 right now? I'm going to tell you this. I'm very nervous about Charles Kelly. All right? Because I know Charles Kelly. I know these players, and I know these coaches. I've been following the game of football my whole life. And I'm not going to forget that when Florida State won the national title, they were a top 10 defense. Go look it up. Somebody Google this. I don't need Google. They were a top 10 defense. And then they go and get some nice recruits after winning that national title. And I'm talking Derwin James. I'm talking about studs. Pro Bowlers. Excuse me. And he takes over that defensive position. I think he took it over from Pruitt. You guys know Pruitt? Pruitt went to go be the head coach at Tennessee. A lot of Tennessee fans don't want to remember it. But Pruitt leaves, and in comes in Charles Kelly. And he takes a top 10 defense and runs it into the damn ground. They're ranked 50-something. They're ranked 60-something. He ran it into the ground, and they became insignificant. Jimbo Fisher bounces, leaves, goes to A&M, more power to him. But this man didn't do shit. Charles Kelly. Now, been at Bama the last couple years. I'm on record. I'm saying I hope he learned something. I hope he got better. And I hope he knows what he's doing. Because he's about to be given a bunch of dogs, a bunch of athletes. Go win with them. Go do something with them. Now, you're in the Pac-12. There are professional quarterbacks. There are amazing offenses. Kenny Dillingham, DeBoer. We're talking about Utah and Chip Kelly and Lincoln Riley. It's a who's who of offensive minds in the Pac-12. It's a problem. Jonathan Smith at Oregon State is loaded. Don't get it twisted. Lanning at Oregon, like they got players for days. This is a problem. And people think it's going to be that easy. And I'm worried about that aspect. I really believe in Sean Lewis. I believe in the offense. I'm telling you right now, they're getting so many DBs. They're recruiting so many defensive backs. It's telling me Travis Hunter is going to be a receiver full time. That's what it's telling me. Travis Hunter is about to be amazing. Let me tell you, I watched Travis play in high school. I live in Georgia. I went to his games at Collins Hills. I went and watched Travis. And I remember watching him every day going, damn it, man. Why do they keep telling me this is the number 1 corner in the country? This man's got 14, 15, 1,600 yards receiving. Sam Horn is throwing the rock to this dude every play. And he's amazing. His ball skills are everywhere. Pause. This guy could get up and do it all. I'm like, man, stop telling me he's going to Florida State to play DB. Now, I don't think he's fast enough. And this is just me talking, and I know nobody wants to hear me. There's no official 40 anywhere. I made a video about this on TikTok. I heard him have a conversation with Coach Prime, and Coach Prime said, don't worry about your 40. You only got to run 2 of them in your life. He's trying to console the kid because he let him know, hey, man, we saw that 4.51. Now, his ball skills, second to none. His athleticism, second to none. This man can do things in a phone booth. And for you kids who don't know what a phone booth is, it's where we used to make phone calls, and there's not much space to move. And Travis Hunter can do it all. But straight line speed, I put up a video. It's on my TikTok. If you guys can find it, do a search. Hashtag Travis Hunter, hashtag Rico knows. And I show you where he's getting beat by some receivers that are just kind of run-of-the-mill in HBCUs. I'm sorry, one sec. In HBCUs. Just run-of-the-mill dudes. He's getting beat by them. And I'm like, damn. And he's playing catch-up. And he just doesn't have quite that, that recovery speed. I think they want to keep him on offense because I think that's his professional future. Get the ball in this man's hands. He's magical with it, right? He's nice with it. He's great. But when I start looking at all the DBs they're recruiting, hey, man, shout out to Breedlove. Because Breedlove comes in from Ole Miss, right? Kendrick Breedlove. And they keep recruiting DBs like they didn't get Breedlove. There he is, Kendrick Breedlove. They keep recruiting DBs like he's not there, bro. And I'm not mad at them. They need depth. But every DB that shows up in the transfer portal, they're like, yeah, we need him. We need him. We need him. They just keep signing dudes like he's not there. Because I think they know he's not it. I seen him get beat a lot at practice. Sorry, guys. She's humping me, bro. This is going live. She's just letting me have it right now. Let her get her energy out. Give me a second. Okay, sweetie. Go play. Sorry about that. My dog is wild. Anyways, let me go back and check this chat. I'll catch up with you guys for a second here. Omarion Cooper, Jacquez Robinson both played under Chaney. Yep, I hear you. And let me tell you, I watched Robinson's highlight tape, and the first couple of clips, he's tackling some guys. I love it, run support. But as I kept watching it, I'm like, man, how did he get to Bama? Just because I don't see it. I'm being real. I just don't see the high-level projection. He coached Cooper and Tavar. They're coaching everybody. They're coaching everybody. Tarvarish. I keep calling him Tarvish. People getting mad at me. Tarvish. Y'all don't want to hear me say incarnate word. You guys get mad at that too. Trust. The Prime took a bunch of players from HBCUs. The community would be... Hold on now. I got to read this because when people go back and rewatch this, they're not going to know what I'm talking about unless I read it in full. So this gentleman says, trust, if Prime took a bunch of players from HBCUs, the HBCU community would have been upset for taking away talent, so he couldn't do that. People in the SWAC are mad at the players he did take to CU. No, I don't buy it, man. I watch HBCU football. I watch a lot of it. And I watch a lot. Now, let me tell you how I do it. When a player transfers out of HBCUs, like Tutton, like Roberts, some of the linebackers who went to Wake Forest, and where else did they go? East Carolina. I go back and watch their tape. And I go back and watch all their games. And I see a certain level of athleticism. And guys, when you watch as much film as me, I can tell you that when I watch the tape, I watch guys and I'm like, oh, that's 4.4. Oh, that's 4.4. Oh, that's 4. And then I go, whoa, that's 4.6. That's why when I watched JSN's tape, I was like, oh, this guy's slow as hell. I don't care what his 40 time says. I don't care nothing. I watched him on tape. I'm like, ugh, this guy's dragging a damn trailer. Like, unhitch the trailer, bro. You're running in place. You ever seen a boat on water? You ever been on a cruise ship? You're on a cruise ship, it doesn't even feel like it's moving. But somebody tells you it's moving. You know it's moving because if you look at the land, it's moving. But it doesn't look like it's moving really. It's like it's just kind of. That's how I feel about some of these guys when I watch them on tape. I'm serious. HBCU dudes. Even a guy like Jadakiss Bonds. I love everything about him. He was at Hampton. I went to go watch all his film, and I'm like, man, I really hope Jadakiss gets. And he didn't get drafted, but he's so nice. But that's not good enough at a Power 5 level. It's a dime a dozen at the Power 5 level. There's a bunch of dudes like that. So that's how it is. It's just, and the linemen at the HBCU level aren't quite there. The linemen, we got Jeremiah Brown. Who do we get? Coming over from Jackson. What's his name? I don't want to be wrong. Not Willie Gaines. This is an older commit. There he is. Yeah, Jeremiah Brown, linebacker. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Tyler Brown. Good player. Little undersized, but good player. Now they say he's 6'3", 320. All right. He's been eating. But I'm telling you right now, where's the rest of the team? They don't quite measure up. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a different level of football. It's all good. Everybody needs an opportunity to play. I ain't mad at you. But I don't think that that's the case. Networking works the same as in business and sports. Yeah. Both have been Coach Prime Youth Football League. Yeah, so the Under Armour game. So let's talk about it. Under Armour game. Everybody, I know somebody's going to bring it up. When you go look at commitments, where is it at? Savelle, Smalls. Oh, it's not here. Where am I looking? Let me see if I can drag it in over here. I'll show you guys what he's talking about, this gentleman who just wrote that. It's right here. You guys see it. Oh, let me fix that. Sorry about that. If you look, you're going to see these little pictures down here at the bottom. And those pictures, here they are at the Under Armour game. So Savelle Smalls and Coach Prime have a relationship because they took a picture together, coached them at the Under Armour game, the Under Armour All-American game. I'm not impressed with stuff like that. I don't think that makes the decision for you. I think it's cool to put it in there, but the reality is you get a chance to be in the same conference, to get back at your old team, and you can be relevant again. You were once a 5-star kid. You were once great as far as projection goes, but here you can go and contribute and get on the field, hopefully, and you can do your damn thing. So I wish him best in that regard. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Prime hired someone from Duncanville High School in Dallas area next year. Yeah, you want to do that pipeline, you got to get some Texas kids in. Now, what's surprising to me is they do have some pipelines to Texas, right? Obviously, because that's where they coach and that's where they played. We got Kevin Mathis and Sanders there. But my thing is it was like smaller schools in Texas. And if you want to start hitting some of those bigger schools, you got to start competing with a lot of Texas programs who have really good pipelines in Texas. I recommend it, especially if you're in Colorado. You got to do it. Duncanville sounds about nice, right? They're great at football. You want some of those players. But I believe TCU has a really strong lock on Duncanville. I really do. It's just how it works sometimes. And obviously UT. So you're waiting on Alton to commit real soon. You know, I got a message telling me about Kelly. Casey Kelly, tight end from Ole Miss. And some guy says to me, Rico, I'm an insider. I know Casey Kelly's coming to Colorado. Tight end, backup tight end, competing with Michael Trigg down at Ole Miss. Trigg's obviously a transfer from USC. And Trigg's beating him out in the spring. And they're like, man, Casey, he's going to come to Colorado. He didn't come either. So the rumor, I don't ever make videos on rumors. I make videos on facts. So I don't like rumors. So that one for me doesn't really resonate with me. I'm not waiting for Alton to get there anymore. I'm going to let it go. But if Alton McCaskill IV signs with Colorado, put me in for 8 wins. I've been saying they're going to win 4 to 6 games for months now. I called this back in December. I was realistic. I looked at the starting 22. I looked at the 11 and 11, and I said, man, I like what they're doing. They're in a hell of a conference. It's really deep. It's a problem. Like, look at Savelle Smalls. Savelle Smalls just left Washington where he's 4th string. Is he 4th string at Colorado? Hell no. He's in the 2 deep. Might even change positions. But that's what type of depth they have at certain Pac-12 schools. Pac-12 had 6th-ranked teams. How strong is the Pac-12? The 3rd best team in that conference finished 8th in the final polls. Nobody's talking about it. Washington finished 8th in the final polls, wasn't in the conference championship game. The 5th or 6th best team in the Pac-12 was Oregon State, and they beat the brakes off of Florida. And then everybody goes, well, no, Florida didn't have all their players. Bro, Florida had every player that sat out that bowl game is not there anymore. Florida's the same team that lost 30-3. They're the same damn team, except they got a recruiting class and Graham Mertz. And maybe they get Casey Thompson. But my point is Florida ain't it, bro. I watched them lose by 30. And then ESPN puts out a preseason poll, and where do they put Florida? In the top 25. I just watched them lose by 30. They put them in the top 25. Is Oregon State in the top 25? Somebody let me know. Is Duke in the top 20? Duke won 9 games, returned everybody. Duke's got Elko as their head coach. Just left Texas A&M. He was the defensive coordinator over there. Duke's amazing. Duke's got a quarterback nobody wants to mess with. Led the team in rushing and pass. Stop it, bro. Duke's got it really going on, and they're not even in the top 25. Somebody just tell ESPN I'm coming. Tell 24/7 Sports I'm coming. On 3, I'm coming. Rico knows. They're all frauds, bro. They don't put in any work. They don't study. They don't retain information. I'm sitting here. I'm an almanac, bro. I can talk all night about anything. I'm coming. They better recognize. They're all full of it. Yep. I got the plug for sure. They always say, hey, try Jesus. Don't try Rico. That's what they say on my other page. I'm with you. 3-star. Yeah, I don't worry about stars. I want to make this clear. Jordan Buchanan visiting. I don't worry about stars. Stars are how they were evaluated coming out of high school. Then they get to a program, and then they got to show out and prove themselves. I ain't worried about stars. You get to a program, you were 2 years at this school lifting weights, learning their scheme, competing with other men at your position. I don't give a damn what you were evaluated at in high school. You'll never hear me make a video and in the headline put 5-star coming to Colorado, 4-star coming to... I never do that. Go watch all I got over 2,000 videos on that other app, on that clock app. Not once has the title said X amount of star guy, blah, blah, blah. No. I want to see your production, your competitiveness, your drive. I want to see something. Your work ethic. I ain't worried about no damn stars. There are 0-star guys getting drafted. 0-star guys getting drafted. And there are 5-star guys everywhere not living up to the hype. And then they always tell me, Rico, was he a flop? Was he a flop? Was he a bust? No. You overrated him. I never overrated him. I don't think that highly of him. I didn't rate him like that. Just keeping it real. My dog is the main character. You better get it. Hey, don't get it twisted. Somebody says, look at the dog in the back trying to be the main character. Her name is Ash. A-S-H-E. Ash. She's in the picture right here. One of my followers got this canvas bit made. This is her crib right here. This is her house. This is her kennel cover. Look, man, they make her custom gear. You guys don't even have people making you custom gear, bro. The women on my channel on TikTok, they make Ash custom stuff with her name on it. That's what they do. They love her. You guys can't, hey, she's the main character. Y'all can't talk about Ash like that. You guys, hey, you can't even get a text back. Your girl goes missing for 3 hours on a Saturday night. You don't know where she's been. Let's get real. And then she's, I was at the neighbor's. Oh, they're married. But that neighbor knows what's up. He knows when you're not at home. Ash is the main character. Don't get it twisted. Let me get focused. Y'all got me mad talking about my dog like that. I'll be happy if they win 6 games. Realistic. Got to think realistic. That's cool. That's cool. The players that CP was referencing, okay, didn't come to CU because they were draft eligible. Not understanding your HBCU take. So my HBCU take is this, is there were players sitting there waiting for offers, ready to hit the portal, and Coach Prime told him, hey, we need to talk. We need to have a real talk about your opportunities. You guys are going to act like you don't remember his exit interview? When he was sitting on the big chair and Coach Prime was letting them all know, hey, don't everybody go jump in the portal now. We got to have a talk about this. And a lot of guys got a harsh reality dose. And it was, hey, man, we're not going to bring you. We're not going to bring you. That's real. Okay? And you don't like it. You don't like what I'm saying. I'm not a hater. I'm not uninformed. I'm fact-based. I do a ton of research. I know what I'm talking about. If you don't know who I am and you haven't watched me, go hit that other app and go start learning. And just start trying to watch all the videos and try to understand where I'm coming from. Because I'm coming from a place of, like, accuracy. I'm being real. This man told him, don't get over here. I can't give you an offer. I can't move you over. Man, you got 50-something dudes in the portal. You still can't give me an offer. No, stay with Coach TC. Stay with TC right here at JSU. Stay with TC, man. Stay with TC. I ain't mad at him, but that's what it is. Hey, Rico, don't come looking for me. I'm going to report you to the feds. Okay, Bankroll. I ain't worried about you. I played high school football with Jeremy Pugh. Okay, there you go. Air Raid City. Pac-12 is Air Raid City. You know, they really do have some amazing offenses and offensive minds and schemes. It's impressive. It sucks. Cliff Kingsbury, the rich get richer, right? Cliff Kingsbury comes in, and he's just a quarterback coach because he wants to get paid by Arizona. But he's a quarterback coach at USC. You guys don't understand how big of a deal that is. A quarterback coach, a former NFL head coach, just being a quarterback's coach. You know how much they can give him to recruit? The man can recruit his ass off. Do you know what they can do, the role that man can play? It's a little dangerous. We don't have that luxury. I love Sean Lewis. I think Sean Lewis is going to be at Colorado for 2 to 3 years max. I think he wants to be a Power 5 head coach. The number one way to become a Power 5 head coach, number one way, is to be an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator at a Power 5 school. If you're a head coach at a Group of 5 school, that's not getting you anywhere. Go look it up. Your Group of 5 head coach, very rarely will you make it to the upper echelon. Hey, shout out to Luke Fickell. You got to go undefeated at Cincinnati and be dominant for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they'll think about giving you that job. But if you're an offensive defensive coordinator at a Power 5 school, you're getting those jobs everywhere. It's a who's who. They're just letting you in. Okay? You're not going to make it to the highest level being a Group of 5 head coach. You're not. You got to do more than that. And that's exactly what Sean Lewis realized. So he resigned from his position at Kent State, where he was doing great, punching above his weight class, doing his thing. And he said, no, man, I need to go get this position. This will get me in line. So, and Sean Lewis is about to do some great things. They're going to break teams off. Breakneck speed, 30 seconds of play. They're going to be so high-paced, teams are going to be broken. They better be in shape. Colorado better be in shape because they're going to be rotating guys in and just running the hell out of this stuff. It's amazing. Prime has Dennis Thurman on staff in case Kelly isn't the guy defensive coordinator. Well, they're not going to change halfway through the season. I get it. I know Dennis Thurman's there. I know Kevin Mathis knows DBs. I'm telling you, Charles Kelly came on a recommendation to revitalize his career with Saban. It was a conversation with Saban. And let me tell you, oftentimes you're going to see guys have conversations with Coach Saban. And they're going to take whatever he says as gospel. And I don't blame him. Right? I don't blame him at all. And if you hear some chewing in the background, Ash is finally eating her food. Shout out to her. The main character's got to eat. But here's the deal. Remember when Trey Sanders wrote on Twitter and said, yo, Unc, you got a scholarship? I'm ready to come. I'm ready to go to Buffalo. And everybody started, five-star running back wants to go to Buffalo. 5-star running back wants to go to, not Buffalo, but go to Colorado. I think Coach Prime called Saban and said, hey, man, should I get this guy in my program? And I don't think he got a glowing recommendation. Okay? And this is why JoJo Earl and Sanders both end up at TCU. Because TCU will take all these Alabama guys. But Coach Prime's a little different. Have you noticed the caliber of player he's getting? They're all academic guys. The vast majority of them are doing great in school. Graduate transfers up the wazoo. It's because Coach Prime has an APR stipulation in his contract. If you don't know what APR is, that's academic progress rate. And when you're in college, if you're academically eligible, you get a point. If you enroll in the next semester, you get another point. Every player can score up to 2 points. And it's this scale up to 1,000. And an APR, this is you have to be within this score to be eligible for bowl games. And they have actual incentives in their contracts. I think Coach Prime gets like 50 grand if he maintains the same APR. But if he improves the APR, oh my goodness, he gets his 50 grand. Colorado's ranked 106th in the nation in APR. Not good. You want to be towards the top. Now, why is this significant? Why did I bring this up? Because every year, if there's a college team out there that doesn't have, if there's a bowl game out there, how many games you got to win to get to a bowl game? Everybody knows you got to win 6, right? No, not necessarily. If they don't have enough 6-win teams, they go and look at 5-win teams. The 5 and 7 teams out there. And whoever has the highest APR with 5 wins gets to go to that bowl game. True story. It's the tiebreaker. You can Google this. You go look it up all you want. Rico knows. Look, Rice, high academic institution. Rice is in the running for a bowl game every year if they win 5 games because they win that tiebreaker every single time. Wouldn't it be amazing if Colorado got to a bowl game after 5 wins because of their APR? I think that would be the most remarkable story ever. And Coach Prime improving the academic progress rate at Colorado is a genuine goal of his. And I can tell because he's recruiting these guys from Dartmouth, right? He's recruiting all academic guys, graduate transfers, who he knows are going to finish school. My girl's back. Give me a second here, y'all. I don't mean to take a break on you guys. Sorry about that, but she loves me. So it's just something to think about when they're recruiting certain players and they're going all academic, okay? Let me go back here. A Utah quarterback is on IR. Remember, he tore his ACL. Are you talking about the running back? Who are you talking about? Travis Hunter's a dog? Yeah, no shit. He's a beast. He's in Texas training with the best wide receivers coach. Yeah, so I got wind of this 3-4 weeks ago when Travis Hunter was doing a press conference. They asked him what he planned to do after spring ball, and he said he's going to go down to Texas and start working and training. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Travis Hunter's on pace. He's out there training right now. More power to him. Keep doing his thing. And we'll see what happens here. Get to the next comment. Yeah, Sean Lewis might be one and done. If that offense is explosive, Power 5's going to come looking for him. Yeah, man, you got to think about the teams on the hot seat, though, right? Think about teams where they're going to fire coaches. I think about Indiana, Tom Allen. That dude's getting fired, bro. West Virginia, Neil Brown. He's in trouble, okay? He's on the hot seat. I think Sean Lewis is probably the number one candidate for that West Virginia job, if they do well. Neil Brown goes home, and there he goes, because he knows the recruiting. He was at Kent State. It's right there, dude. A lot of Kent State players transferred to West Virginia. It's amazing. And then Marquez Cooper, right? He's a short little running back. If you guys haven't seen him, go look him up. Marquez Cooper, he rushed for 1,300 yards last year. He just transferred to Ball State to take over for Carson Steele after he went to UCLA. So it's musical chairs. But Kent State starting running back last year, he's 5'6", looks like a little Barry Sanders. Marquez Cooper crushed it against Georgia. Go watch the game. He rushed for more yards against Georgia than a ton of other SEC running backs, and he did it behind this offensive line of Jack Bailey and Savion Washington. And Marquez Cooper, he'll have a year of eligibility left. I'm telling you, man, you might see him at West Virginia if Sean Lewis gets hired by a Power 5 school. I think it's West Virginia. Another option, is Mike Gundy ready to call it quits, bro? Is Mike Gundy ready to just retire? Does he have to step away? He lost a ton of players in the transfer portal, backfilled him with somebody not so good. You guys ever seen a guy married to a beautiful woman, and then he gets divorced because he cheated on her or he lost her or whatever, and the next time you see him, he's with a girl who don't look so good? And you're like, yo, what the hell happened? I'll tell you what happened, man. He got tired of being lonely, so he just took whatever he could find. He lowered his standards. He just take whatever you can find. I feel like that's what Oklahoma State's doing. They're just taking whatever they can find, man. The guys they're signing out of the transfer portal, no hate, no shade, just not quite the same caliber of what they lost. It's like, you're not quite there, bro. That's how I feel about it. Personally. TMI, I don't know. I'm with it. Yeah. CU needs a veteran backup quarterback. It's their biggest point of failure and weakest competitive position. So, H-Family, quickly, name the backup quarterback to Drake May. Go. Just let me know. I want you to say it out loud. I can't hear you, but I know you ain't saying shit right now. I can't hear you, but I know you ain't saying a damn thing right now. Who's Drake May's backup? I know you don't know. Trust me. I know everybody. I know you don't know that. All right? And my point is this is too much of an emphasis here. You don't need to focus on a veteran backup quarterback. Do you understand the oxymoron there is there? At the collegiate level, you want a veteran backup quarterback? That means that guy's never started. That guy ain't shit. What team has a veteran backup quarterback? That's a dude who never made the field. The starter's on the field, and you're telling me there's somebody older than him not on the field. That doesn't sound like a quality backup to me. This ain't the NFL. You don't need a veteran backup quarterback. Plenty of teams have freshman backup quarterbacks, sophomore backup quarterbacks, not veteran backup quarterback. No such thing. It's just not realistic. Very rarely do you see a veteran backup quarterback. And when you have one, oh my goodness, is it great. Shout out to TCU. Max Duggan was a veteran backup quarterback. And they got to the national title game with a backup quarterback because Chandler Morris was their real starter. But who's backing up Caleb Williams right now? Does USC sit around going, man, we really need to get a good backup quarterback. We need to go hit the transfer portal for a veteran backup quarterback. Nobody is trying to get a veteran backup quarterback. Nobody. Who just got a veteran backup quarterback right now? TCU again. They just got Chance Nolan in the transfer portal to back up Chandler Morris because that dude is fragile as hell. He's a broken piece of glass. He's a chandelier. Think about what you're saying. There's no veteran backup quarterback, man. I'm going to go around again. Anytime you have a veteran backup quarterback, you got a guy who didn't amount to it. He ain't shit. If a veteran backup quarterback was so important, Michigan wouldn't have let Cade McNown go. That's real. So I need you to understand that sometimes. The way you guys think is incorrect. Nobody needs to be challenging Shedeur Sanders at Colorado. The man threw for 40 touchdowns last year. 40 touchdowns, was it 6 interceptions? Who the hell needs to challenge that? Over 3,000 yards back-to-back years? Do you know who Cam Ward is? Cam Ward is the starting quarterback at Washington State. He was the starting quarterback at UIW. Go check his stats at Incarnate Word. And then he transferred to Washington State. Nobody said, oh man, he did all that at the FCS level. He can't do that in the Pac-12. He looked great last year. They won 7 games. Go look at his stat line. Did his production go down? Yes. Don't get it twisted. He looked great. He looked the part. So is Shedeur Sanders going to throw 40 touchdowns this year? Probably not. But dude, 33? 3,000 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. The precision on this man is unrivaled. If I see a quarterback complete 70% of his passes, who the hell says he needs a better backup? We ain't worried. That is not even an issue, bro. Oh, well, he's going to get it. Okay. How many teams have a successful season after their starting quarterback gets injured? Outside of TCU last year. Quick, let me know. There's not a team in the country having a quality season after their starter gets injured. There's not one. Your starter gets injured, your season's done. I don't care where you're at. No one has that luxury. I don't care. Carson Beck wasn't going to come in and save Georgia's season if Stetson Bennett got hurt. Wasn't going to happen. This ain't Tua and Jalen Hurts. You're talking about the depth at like Alabama. You're talking about the depth at some of these perennial powers and trying to compare that to Colorado. It's a 1-11 team. 50 players in the transfer portal. You got to focus on that on that starting 22, that front 7. They better have really good 8 defensive linemen before they worry about a backup quarterback. They better have 3 running backs before they worry about a backup quarterback. I'm letting you know right now. That doesn't make sense to me. Sorry. CeeDee Lamb ran a 4.51. Yeah, he plays faster than that. There's a lot of guys who run 40s at certain speeds. It's about when I watch the tape, bro. It's about the film. I watch the tape and I go, how fast is he? You know, Tank Dell ran a 4.49. I watch the tape. Nobody's running with Tank Dell. Nobody's staying on his hip. That dude's amazing. It's about the tape. It's about the tape. Travis Hunter's a lockdown corner. No, he is not, Zion. Travis Hunter is not a lockdown corner. I don't even believe in the term lockdown corner, to be honest. I think the game is advantageous to wide receivers. I don't think there's a lockdown corner in the country. I watched enough tape of Travis Hunter, and you need to go find the clip that I have on the other app. You need to go find that clip on TikTok, and you need to find where I show you every clip where Travis Hunter is out of position, playing recovery, and not quite there. Now, is he better than a lot of the other corners on the team? Hell yes, he is. Is he one of the best corners in the conference? Sure. Doesn't make him a lockdown corner. I haven't seen a lockdown corner since who? You're going to say Darrelle Revis? You're going to name a professional corner? I ain't seen no lockdown corners in college. I promise. Witherspoon's great. I wouldn't label anybody a lockdown corner. You label a guy a lockdown corner, I'm going to show you a guy named Charlie Jones show up and light him up. I'm telling you, there's no lockdown corners in college. There just isn't. There's zones that can be great. There's quarterbacks who can't throw. There's good edge rushers that cause bad passes. There's a lot of variables in place that help guys cover really well in college. And it ain't that they're lockdown corners. It's the rush. It's the bad throw. It's a slow receiver. It's scheme versus scheme. It's a whole lot of things. Calling somebody a lockdown corner means I can put you in man and I can look away from you and not worry about that half of the field. Not worry about that guy running routes. You're going to shut him down. And every week you show up and you shut down their number one. That doesn't happen, bro. Why do you think there's so much production? Why do you think there's so much production at the collegiate level? Like, you can just turn it on and you'll be like, well, that's a 1,300-yard receiver. Hey, that guy just got 300 yards this game. That guy got 200 yards this game. It's because of matchups. It's because there's a huge discrepancy in certain players' talent. And I'm watching Travis Hunter struggle last year to cover a receiver who, what was he? He was from like Rutgers. Transferred to the HBCU, but he had played at Rutgers before. He was an FBS guy, playing at the FCS level. It wasn't anything special. Just a Rutgers guy. Couldn't start at Rutgers, left Rutgers, now he's starting at, and I forgot what school it was, and I'm watching it and I'm going, holy shit. Travis Hunter's having a problem with this guy. And I made a whole video on it. Go find it. Because I don't just say stuff like that. You just said something. He's a lockdown corner, but you don't have any proof of it. Where? One rep at practice? Go find the proof in the game, and when you find it, you're going to find you're wrong. Because I went and looked for it. I've been watching every play that Travis Hunter's ever played since his junior year in high school. I used to go to all his games in high school. I've been watching the kid. I know what I see. I see an amazing wide receiver. I see a good corner, better than the other guys around him, but an amazing wide receiver. That's all we need. Lewis for 1 year, be quite successful in offense. Yeah, I need you guys to understand something. You need Lewis to be successful. I need Coach Prime to be successful after he's successful. Think about what I'm saying. The best part about Coach Prime, if he wants to be relevant and great for the next however many years, is he's got to do what all the greats do, which is backfill and replace his coordinators. Everybody tells me Coach Prime's got the same coaches around him. He's got this crew with him. They went from JSU, they went to here, they went to here. Well, let me tell you what happens when you start winning. When you start winning, your offense and defensive coordinator, they go and get hired somewhere else. And then you got to backfill them with new guys. Who? You're going to move up your wide receivers coach back to the offensive coordinator position that he held at JSU? You're going to bring up Kevin Mathis to be the defensive coordinator? Like, you're going to keep moving guys in. And that's what separates Saban, Smart, Kirby Smart, and whoever else, Dabo. These guys that are losing offense and defensive coordinators and staying relevant. That's the hardest part. And we don't know if Coach Prime can do that part. We've never seen it. There's no case study for it. There's no claim that it's ever happened. I don't want to hear it. We have to see that part. So first, we got to be successful. Let's get successful first. Let's baby step this shit. First step, be successful. Second step, show me that you can sustain your success after the departure of Sean Lewis, after the departure of Charles Kelly, after they're so great that they get hired somewhere else, and now you need to show me what you can. And that's, that's the next hurdle that Coach Prime needs to do to be great at the collegiate level. And I really mean that. Where are all the women at? Hey, shout out to Steve. If you guys don't know, Steve's one of my subscribers on TikTok. Steve knows I have a lot of women that follow me. I don't necessarily know if they're here in chat. This is a football-only conversation. I do have a lot of women that are, they just like to watch me in silence. I ain't mad at them. It's all good. They'll DM me later. It is what it is. Rico really knows. Thank you very much. Yeah. Prime said playing both ways, so I don't know. Yeah, a lot of guys playing both ways. We'll see what happens. Playing both ways at elevation sounds ideal. Not so much. It looks good. It briefs well. It's a hell of a talking point. But in reality, I'm telling you, ever run at elevation? I run at elevation. I used to run a mile at elevation, 2 miles at elevation. I'm in the Army. I used to live a mile up, Fort Huachuca, Arizona, Sierra Vista, Arizona. I don't know what the elevation is. I used to go run this place called Bisbee. It's like some hippie town, bro. I'd run up there. My lungs were on fire, and I'm in phenomenal shape. I run every day. And I'm telling you, man, you can't run at elevation like that. Sprints, you better be grinding. And them guys got to live in it, right? That's the most important part. These Colorado kids, they need to get acclimated, live in this shit for a year or two, grind and work out. I don't want to hear about you going to Texas to work out. I don't want to hear about you going to Florida to work out. No, work out right there at that elevation. Put in the work. I saw my boy, Caleb, right? I saw Caleb Mathis. Shout out to Caleb, friend of the channel. I've talked to Caleb many times. I'm a huge fan. Preferred walk-on, son of Kevin Mathis. Caleb Mathis is the truth. And Caleb, everybody else is leaving out of town, going and doing things. Caleb's right there at the facility, pulling out everything he's got to do, running his drills at elevation. I'm telling you right now, get acclimated and put in work at elevation. I appreciate it. Wasn't Travis a little hurt at JSU? Yeah, he was hurt, overcoming some injuries. It happens. We got some elite DBs. Yeah, we do. He runs a 4.6. Yeah, you see H family. I think he does run somewhere in that realm. 4.5, 4.6. I don't think it matters. I think he's got amazing skills with the ball in the air and with it in his hands. A.T. Perry, wide receiver out of Wake Forest, runs a 4.43. But when did he get drafted? NFL teams didn't draft him. They don't care what he ran. He's a long strider. Of course he got up to 4.43. That man's first 10 meters are slower than molasses. They're slower than dial-up, bruh. I watch him on tape, and I'm like, oh, my God, how the hell is he going to make it in the NFL? Like, I don't respect him. I'm just jamming him. I'm with him. He can't run a single route. He can't get in and out of his breaks. Catch radius is huge. I don't care. This man can't get open. He's slow. NFL teams know it. Draft position showed it. So, the one thing that I think Travis has is acceleration. I think his first 10 meters is fast. But I think he's limited in that top end speed. But it doesn't knock him right now. I still think he's a great player. The dog going to work. Thank you. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Let me get back up with chat here. It just bounced on me. I apologize, guys. It just jumped. I'm with you. There's a lot to catch up on. I'm sorry I'm so far behind on the chat. I'll get there. I promise you. Thank you guys for being here, all 180 of you or so. We're going to take some time. Wasn't Travis a little hurt? There we go. We're back. Dog going to work. Breedlove was getting beat badly in the spring game. Not just the spring game, all practice. All practice. I need you guys to know that. Breedlove gets beat every day, and I think the coaches know it. Slusher, too. Slusher, they put in some work on Slusher. These guys, I know they played a lot of football. If you guys don't know, Slusher played a lot of football at Arkansas, Miles Slusher. But if you go look up his PFF score, out of every starting safety in America, I think he's the third worst one, according to the PFF ratings. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't care. I just watched the tape, and that man was getting the brakes beat off. I'm telling you right now, Arkansas is really happy he's not there. So, but it's still an SEC starter. Travis was hurt all year, probably let him play, never 100. Spring ball close to 100, blah, blah, blah. Might explain speed. Yeah, might. The difference is, Timothy West, is I've actually seen Travis play his entire life. Like, I saw him play in high school, and I know what I saw. I never saw a burner. Never. He wasn't hurt the whole time I've seen him. I'm telling you that right now. Don't ignore me, seeing you by the stars to say the Easter parade. Don't know what any of that is. Bankroll is in here just trolling. I don't know. Rico's arm just jumped out of the portal. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. You don't live in Florida. All right, 40 time. Game speed different. Yeah, Hyatt's 4.4 on tape, but looks 4.2 in the game. Yeah, you guys, man, you guys are big on Hyatt. Let me tell you guys something. Don't believe in the fool's gold. When you start looking at Tennessee, they run an air raid offense. They're going to have a ton of stats every year. It's scheme driven. This is Mike Leach. This is Sonny Cumbie. This is Graham Harrell. This is Cliff Kingsbury. These guys are all disciples of this air raid offense. Put up a ton of yards. It's scheme driven. So don't get too excited about Hyatt. This is why he fell in the draft. It's scheme driven. I can't stress that enough. So when you see Brew McCoy, who couldn't start anywhere, all of a sudden get 50-something receptions and get a ton of stats, it's all scheme driven. Slow down. Those guys, it doesn't mean they're that great. That's just real. That's the way it works at Tennessee. That's the way it's going to work from now on. You lying, I know you. Okay, nobody knows that. It's incarnate. 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 Sorry about that. Will Colorado get shown Washington to commit? So one thing you guys are going to learn about me when you come to my channel, my live chat, I don't make predictions. It's not something I do. So when you guys start saying, will this happen? If I ever say something's going to happen, I have insider knowledge. Somebody told me in my DMs. I have some type of confirmation it's going to go down. You will not hear me guess at anything. And people know this. If you're one of my TikTok followers, you already know. I don't guess at shit. I just don't. It ain't happening. I don't do it, y'all. So I apologize. Is this going to happen? I'm not there. I try not to make predictions either. If I do, it's probably I'm well informed. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I know we have a spring transfer portal rule that nobody else has. Shaking my head. You talking about the SEC? So the SEC spring transfer portal rule. It's not that you can't transfer within the conference. You can. The SEC has a rule. If you transfer within the conference after February 1st, you must sit out the year. That's the rule. That's the rule. So nobody wants to do it. You can do it, especially if you have a redshirt year left. You can do it. So if you really want to transfer from Georgia to Bama, you can do it, but you got to sit out a year. That's the rule in the SEC. It's not. Nowhere does it say it can't be done. Everybody always, they can't do that. He can't transfer there. Yes, he can. You just have to sit out a year. Now, nobody wants to do that. But if you had a red shirt and you believed in the program, you would do it. You could do it. And I just want everybody to remember that before they start saying that's an impossibility. It's not true. It's not impossible, okay? I just want to make sure everybody understands the rules there. So that's how it is in the SEC. That's the rule. They got it. Please, no more pronunciation typing. Was on FSU live stream earlier and somebody did Vigor. Should have seen and heard the shots. Terrible. Okay, the host terrible. Okay, whatever. I don't know what's going on. Y'all were hugging. He had his hands on your butt. Okay, yeah, bankroll. Are you talking about? I can't read any more bankroll stuff. I'm sorry, guys. This guy's a troller. I can't do it anymore. SEC, the only conference that has the rule while transferring. Yes, currently, yes. I think that rule might go away. Watch. Under Armour barely staying in business. Hey, I don't know anything about Under Armour, Steve. We know the Shone is a buff. Okay, you guys are making that call. Savelle should eat something. The dude's big already. You're saying he's going to play great? Okay. I've never seen him play great at the collegiate level. That's the reality of the situation. He should eat. He should have been eating at Washington for the last 3 years. I just haven't seen it. So everybody needs to chill. Got a safety from DeSoto, Miller-Jones. Okay. TCU does Duncanville. I'm here in Dallas. Yeah, for sure. And when I say stuff like that, dude, I'm keeping it real. Okay? You can pick up Under Armour stock for $8 right now. Okay, Steve. $8 for Under Armour stock. I'm not an investor. I give no financial advice. But if you're going to buy stock, stay away from retail stock. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Alton will be the prime starter if he comes to Colorado. Yes. Let me tell you something, Zion. You're not saying anything new. Alton McCaskill IV will be the prime starter at any school he transfers to, with the exception of maybe Michigan, USC, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Wisconsin. That's about it. There's Arkansas, Raheem Sanders. There's a very short list. That man will be the starting running back at 120 FBS schools, for sure. He's so good. Are you sure? Or making up rumors? I don't know what you're talking about. Florida isn't good. No, they are not. Not right now. There's an article about Savelle playing tight end in high school. Yes. Wonder if they brought him in since Zico left to get some reps at tight end. That's possible. I saw the tape. He looks like an athlete. Bro, Savelle's not playing tight end. I'm not selling it. I see a lot of people saying, two-way player coming to Colorado. I'm like, whatever, bro. Suave, you didn't answer my question. Zion, I don't know what your question is. I'm so far behind in chat. You're going to have to let me know. I apologize. Alton is crystal ball to see you, but I saw him post about Arizona State. Yeah, don't believe the crystal balls. 24/7 is notorious for errors. Guys, I could go on there right now and find, I'm not joking. I'm going to do a live where I just go in there and just find errors the whole time. I could find errors every day, all day if I wanted to. That's how bad that website is. Between 24/7 and On3, I could find at least 100. I'm not exaggerating, 100. Just the other day, they put Thomas Castellanos, quarterback, leaving UCF, put him 100% to Texas State. Dude committed to Boston College. You couldn't be further off. You couldn't be further. And I'm like, he's going to Texas State? They got Malik Hornsby. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's bullshit. It's not good. Let me see here. Marlo, I seen the same thing. Okay, so it was on his IG. Yes, it was. I'm not making rumors. He literally just at CU this Saturday. Okay. Them stars mean nothing. Stars don't mean much. I believe Jordan Jefferson, Honey Badger were 3 stars. Yeah, 3 stars is good enough for me. They put so many players at 3 stars. A lot of them are great. I'm cool with it. Who is starting offense for CU against TCU, you think? Daddy Bryant, so starting offense, Shedeur, give me a running back. I mean, I could go position by position. It really doesn't matter at this point. Yeah, I saw Trayvon Burks and Michael Pittman 100% crystal ball to Utah. I don't report 100% crystal balls. I report commitments. I report players telling me where they're going. I am very hesitant to report on a rumor. I'm very hesitant to report on a 100-ball crystal ball. I don't care if it's, who's this guy? Hummel? 24/7 Sports, Chris Hummel. I don't trust anything those guys write. I don't like any of them. I'm not cool with any of them. Rico knows. They don't know. They're always wrong. I talk to the players themselves. I will write them on Twitter or on TikTok and be like, yo, man, where you going? And they'll answer me back. Most of the time. You got to tell it to the ranking homers who think stars mean everything. Yeah, Savelle, I'm not even with it. Eli Ricks didn't live up to his 5-star. Eli Ricks is not good. And you know what's crazy? Is half the messages I got after the draft were, Eli Ricks is a steal. Eli Ricks is a steal. No, he's not. He's undrafted for a reason. 32 teams could have picked him, and they didn't. 32. Passed on him 7 times. Bro, if you got passed 259 times, how good is Eli Ricks? There's a team out there drafting a punter from Wingate University. Where the is Wingate University? You guys are telling me Eli Ricks is good? Just let me know. Just let me know where Wingate University is before you tell me Eli Ricks is good. I'm keeping it real. I'm just letting you know. Devon Witherspoon got drafted 5th overall in the draft. Was not even ranked. Exactly. 0 star. 0 star Cooper Kupp. Don't get it twisted. Cooper Kupp was 0 stars, but he had over 100 receptions 3 years in a row. Like, Cooper Kupp's statistically the greatest wide receiver of all time at the collegiate level. Just don't go there. Rico, if Alton doesn't come to see you, would you suggest the next up running back? Well, I like Dylan Edwards. I like Dylan Edwards a lot. I think he's a great scat back. Cavassier Smoke's just going to be he's going to fill that hole until Dylan and Hankerson become something. But if I was to look up all the running backs available in the transfer portal right now, of the available running backs, let me pull it up. I'm going to go to all. I'm going to go to position. And I'm going to go to running back. Oh, by the way, first thing I'm going to do is status uncommitted. So this will tell me who's available. That just picked committed for me because that fails. Let's go to uncommitted. Let's go see who the running backs are. Running backs uncommitted. Alton McCaskill, good to go. Look at this. A bunch of running backs here. I was hurt to see Victor Vin go, but I get it. We got upgrades. Devin Ford. They reduced him down to 3 stars, just so you know, transfer. Leaving Penn State, he's not it. Let me keep looking for a who's who. Thad Franklin. Guys, Thad Franklin is not at Miami. Thad Franklin committed to ULM? Hold up, bruh. See, look at that. This fast. I'm sitting here. I promise you guys. Louisiana Monroe, right? Sunbelt? Thad Franklin. Transfers coming in. If I see Thad Franklin here, I quit. Right here, Thad Franklin, Miami to ULM. This is why we can't do this. This is why everybody needs to stay off 24/7. I'm out here looking for what running backs are available, and they have the nerve to tell me that Thad Franklin is leaving Miami with nowhere to go. They're telling me all these guys are available. I know they're not available. Ricky Parks was good. He was at Utah. I know Thad Franklin signed at ULM. That fast. I'll find an error that fast. They got this guy listed twice. And he's eligible for 4 years. Not true. Come on, man. Logan Diggs going to LSU. Julius Davis is actually a decent running back, by the way. Julius Davis leaving Wisconsin. Yeah, there's not a lot of running backs to choose from, man. There's just not. Oh, my God. They repeated the list twice. I said, show me more. It's just all the same dudes. Let me load more players. All the same dudes. Oh, my God. 24/7. Somebody fix this website, bruh. There's Cameron Wiley. All right, Cameron Wiley's a decent running back in the transfer portal. Cameron Wiley was the leading rusher at Akron last year. That's a decent player. Let me keep playing. And I like guys who actually played. So I can't get down with a lot of these dudes. Jordan Vaughn, good running back. Leaving Wyoming. He played a little bit too. This is a big kid. Is he 6 foot 230? I mean, 6'1", 210. I think he's 230 now. Played at Wyoming for Manville, Texas. He actually rushed for like 200 yards last year at Wyoming. I like that kid. I shouldn't have clicked on him, though. Because now it just took me back to the top. I quit. I ain't looking at no more running back. I'm out of here, bro. F these dudes. Hey, shout out to these guys who don't have good websites. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get through the chat. I have no chance of catching up in the chat. You guys hang in there with me. Hey, I'm sad to see Aubrey Smith go. This is a Buford linebacker. He signed with Houston. He's a good player, man. In high school, I watched him play. He's a good player. It's crazy we let him go as a linebacker at Colorado. It hurts my soul because I actually like the kid a lot. But it is what it is. Juju at DB? Nah, he better with the ball in his hand. Okay. Smoke and FR if Alton don't come. Yeah, for sure. Some HBCU players are not Power 5 caliber. Yeah, of course. The vast majority of them, Suave. This is why when you're an all-American, like Brad Roberts, right? Roberts, is it? Going to Wake Forest? Like, if you go turn on the tape and you go look at, let me show you guys, Wake Forest linebacker. Let me go show you this kid right here. Oh, Jacob Roberts, transfer coming in. So I was like, I'm going to go see tape on Jacob Roberts. So I got to go look at every North Carolina A&T Aggies game. I go turn it on. Every game. And this man, Jacob Roberts, is the very best player on the field. Hands down, the best player. This guy is an NFL linebacker. He's transferring to Wake Forest. He ain't transferring to Clemson. He's transferring to Wake Forest. And he's going to be a starter. And he's going to do his best to get to the pros. But he knew he had to get the hell out of there. And the other linebacker that starts opposite of him, he transferred to Eastern Carolina. I'm telling you, man, when I watch these guys play the game, am I tripping right now? Do I not know how to? They're an American? My bad. Dude, I know their conference. I'm tripping. Let me show you guys something. And it's this kid, and he's chiseled. Taylor King here. Taekwon King. Same guy. Taekwon King from Dillon, South Carolina. Let me tell you, don't ever go to Dillon, South Carolina. It's racist as hell. I was there. I got stranded there. They treated me like I wasn't an American. I'm letting you know now. Because my name was Rico. Whole long story. I do have the same first and last name. But when you look at Taekwon King, and you go look at Robert, and you watch these guys, Jacob, and you look at these guys on film, they're so much better than everybody else on the field. And they're barely getting to the FBS level. How the hell are they going to make it to the NFL? BJ Davis can play, but he's 6'2", 190 at linebacker. He's a hell of a player, but he's 6'2", 190. Come on. At least Taekwon King looks the part, 6'2", 212. They're light. They got to lift weights. They want to make it to the league. And these are the very best players of the HBCUs. Very best players. That's how I assess some of the talent at HBCUs. I look at them, and I go watch all the film. You're never going to find somebody, I watch all the film. Referring to the players that weren't drafted, not the exit interviews. Colorado will go 3-9 this year. Okay, Mark, shout out to you, man. Sound crazy. You want me to keep preaching? I'm preaching. That's why JSU fans hate Coach Prime. Hey, slow down. Hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong word. It's going to be Colorado starting offense against TCU. Yeah, please don't spam the same question twice. I will get to it. I'm way behind in the chat. I'm going to be further behind if you keep repeating the questions. Thank you for being here, Dollar Bills. I appreciate you. The Pac-12's hit harder than the SWAC does. Yeah, no shit. What a riveting take. It's really hot on the sun. Yeah, if you run a lot, you sweat. Like, what else are you going to say, bro? Of course they hit harder. It ain't nothing new to it. Oregon State's better than Colorado. Oregon State is a top 25 team. That you're not impressing me with that proclamation, with that claim there. Okay, Oregon State is a great team. They should be a top 15 team, if you ask me. Jonathan Smith knows what he's doing as a coach. Former offensive coordinator at Washington. Okay, I was just talking about Washington earlier. Former offensive coordinator under Chris Peterson. And goes out and gets the head coaching job at Oregon State. Former quarterback at Oregon State. Jonathan Smith is the truth, man. Great coach. Knows how to develop his players. Makes a lot of pros. Shout out to Oregon State and what they're doing. They're building. Oregon State's one of those teams that didn't lose a lot of guys to the transfer portal. Now, they lost Omar Spikes to LSU, but they didn't lose a lot of players to the transfer portal. They're building and developing over there. It's incredible. Daddy Brian, you ask it again. Who's going to be the starting offense against TCU? We'll see when we get there, man. The offense is great. The starting 11 is set, and they look good, and they're getting more. Sean Lewis will be dipping out from CU in 2 years. All right, there you go. How do you know? Never played a game yet. TCU is going to crush Colorado. I think crush is not realistic. Who's the guy talking here? Let me show you something, man. Colorado football results 2022. And if you look into last year, they lost 38-13. Okay? They lost 38-13 in September. They lost by 25 points. And they had the worst team around. They had the very worst team around. You're 1-11 and you only lose by 25 points. And TCU had professionals at every skill position. Max Duggan, right? Kendra Miller. You got Quentin Johnson on the outside. You have Darius Davis. You got a who's who of skill players, and you only put up 38 points against a terrible team? You know how good the team is now? You know how not good TCU just lost 5 NFL guys. TCU just had an all-time great team, get to the national championship. They only won by 25 points against a 1-win team. What are we talking about? They're going to get crushed, bro. What are you talking about? Where's the logic behind this? All those players that are gone are the guys who lost by 25 points to TCU. A team in the national championship game. It ain't the same, bro. It ain't the same. It ain't even close. I'm letting you know now. It ain't close. It ain't going to be like that. You ain't going to see no 38-13 next year. No. They've gotten markedly worse, and Colorado's gotten markedly better. Now let's figure out that number. Let's close that gap. Let me know. I'm letting you know. Just keeping it real. Sean Lewis is a Bay head coach. Are you trying to say bad? Because Bay isn't in my vocabulary. Don't come in here saying Bay, mid. You can say Riz. I'm cool with Riz. Shout out to the ladies. You better watch what you're saying. Don't be saying Bay up in here. If Reese offense is bad at Alabama, Coach Saban might be calling it. Tommy Reese, man. All right. No team in the Pac-12 is afraid of Colorado. I don't think fear really matters, Nethercut. I don't think fear matters. Fear doesn't drive anyone. That doesn't mean anything to me. I don't even know where that comes from. What are you talking about? Who fears the last place team in any conference? Does anybody in the Big Ten fear Northwestern? Like, seriously, you watch Big Ten football? You just made a proclamation. Nobody in the Pac-12 fears Colorado. Well, who the hell fears Northwestern? I'm asking for a friend. Sometimes guys just say shit and it doesn't mean anything to me. You don't got to fear somebody. Show up in the cage, see what happens. I watch a lot of UFC. You don't got to fear your opponent. You ain't got to fear him. You could be fearless. Get in the cage, see what happens. Close that door. Close the damn cage. Now there's nobody else in here. No more press conference. No more training. No more sparring partners. You ain't got to fear me, bro. We're going to figure it out on the field, right? We're going to figure it out in that moment. You ain't got to fear me. I'm letting you know now. No team needs to fear Colorado. But when they get on the field, there's only 11 guys at any given time from that university that has to play these 11 guys. And now it's 11 on 11. 1v1 battles. You only got 11 dudes. That team can be loaded out of their mind. They could play USC. They could play Utah. They could play anybody. Those loaded teams with all those 5- and 4-star players, only 11 of them can get on the field at any given time. It's going to be 11 on 11. We're going to figure it out. You can have all them great dudes on the bench all you want. There's only 11 here, bro. You guys got to understand what it is. I don't know. You just sound crazy sometimes. Just let me know. Let me know if the Lakers, who's the dead last team in the NBA? Who's the dead last team in the NBA? Can they beat the Lakers? Can they beat Golden State on any given night? Because in football, it only takes one Saturday. I'm just letting you know right now. I feel like I should have drinks just based on the comments. Shout out to you, Colorado football. Just like 7-Up, never had it, never will. Okay. It's official. Mark Nethercutt is here as a hater. I don't know what Mark Nethercutt does with his life, but it's what? It's Tuesday at 10:30 at night on the East Coast, and Mark Nethercutt has decided he's going to come in here and just hate on an entire organization of kids. Shout out to you, man. TCU lost 20 players. Colorado's going to smash TCU. Yeah. Think about this. How close was TCU in that national title game? They weren't. How close was Kent State in that national against Georgia last year? How close was Kent State to Georgia last year? Kent State looked a hell of a lot better against Georgia than TCU did. I don't know. A lot of those Kent State players, especially those Kent State coaches, they're at Colorado now. Just a different breed. They're getting more out of anything, right? A little more squeeze, a little more juice to that squeeze. I'm just saying. Carlos is going to send out a Pop Warner team. And you obviously haven't seen practice. Colorado was 1-11. Yeah, Mark Nethercutt, they were 1-11. And those 1-11 players aren't there anymore. Every player that was 1-11 is gone. So now what are we talking about? We're talking about all conference players. We're talking about accomplished athletes at every position. We're talking about Jordan Dominic, 7.5 sacks in the SEC last year at defensive end. We're talking about starters from Florida State. We're talking about all conference guys and 5-star recruits coming in. 1-11 doesn't move me. None of those 1-11 dudes around except for Woods. Tripping, bruh. Entirely different team. And more importantly, the 1-11 team, the coaches are gone. Carl Durrell is not there. Those 1-11 guys, not only are the players gone, but the coaches aren't there. Don't get it twisted, bro. Like, it's hilarious to me. It's funny. It's crazy. With your mindset, TCU should be in the national title game next year. Who cares if they all left? We're just going to keep talking about them like that's who they are. TCU's getting their lunch money snatched by Georgia. And they ain't got no money left, bro. They missed 3 meals all year. 5 wins will get CU in a bowl game. Tough conference. I don't know what you mean by dollar bills. You got to win 6 games to get into a bowl game. The only way you get in with 5 is if your APR is there. All right? So just so you know. Mark, you guys damn near lost to Fresno State. Who is Mark? Who is Mark Nethercutt? Who's his team, bro? I don't know his team. I would love to talk about his team. Colorado's a joke. Okay. Can the APR be moved that quickly? Yes, Steve. The APR is calculated every semester. The APR is not impacted by transfers. It's impacted by people staying over their semesters and choosing to graduate from the university, really. Unless you leave early for the draft. It doesn't count against you. But they're really looking for is that counts the points against you are guys who are not academically eligible or drop out of school. Just so you know. Not going to beat Nebraska. Yeah, Mark, Nebraska's going to be a tough one. I really think Nebraska's going to be more competitive than the TCU game. Nebraska, I have them on record for winning 7 games this year. I like what Nebraska's doing. They rocked it in the transfer portal. The only thing about Nebraska is Matt Rule takes a really long time to get the ball rolling. If you go back and study what he did at Temple in the rebuild and then what he did at Baylor, the first 2 years are really rough. And then he gets the ball rolling. And that's because he has a really unique way to recruit, the way he gets his players and the way he starts his pipeline. But Matt Rule's a hell of a coach. And I think he'll get Nebraska relevant 2 years. So it'll be a tough game next year for Nebraska. Sure. Some of the best training for top prospects, college pro. West Virginia wanted Coach Prime last year. Prove it. They can't afford the buyout for Neil Brown. Yes, they can. They actually have a billionaire. The owner of the Diamondbacks is, and I'm forgetting his name right now, but the owner of the Diamondbacks is a booster, the primary booster for West Virginia. And I feel like the only reason he didn't buy out Neil Brown is probably because he was the driving force to hire Neil Brown. Because if he didn't hire Neil Brown, there's no other logical explanation for why he didn't buy out the contract and get rid of that guy. That's all I'm saying. So I think that's what happens there. He's a hater. EAD. You guys know what EAD is? You guys know what EAD is? It's EDA. Okay. Florida got karma for taking our coach from Louisiana and players. Yeah, man, they took a lot of good players. They took a lot of good players. It is what it is. Nebraska 4-8 last year. Yeah, 4-8's a really good starting point for a new head coach. You know, when coaches get fired, they usually have a losing season. And a losing season is usually catastrophically bad. Some teams who lose 4 games or only win 4 games and they get a new coach, they bounce back huge the next year. Shout out to USC. So just be careful with that. By thinking Nebraska's not very good. When I turn on the tape, though, the best players in Nebraska are gone. Casey Thompson, Trey Palmer, gone. Okay? It's tough. But, like I said, they got to rebuild on their way. So we'll see what happens. I think Jimbo's job is on the line this upcoming season, too. Yeah, Jimbo's in the hot seat. I actually have 2 videos on this on TikTok. I talk about who's on the hot seat. Jimbo, Helfrey at Boston College, Allen. Another guy is Dana Holmgren at Houston. Houston just moved to the Big 12. They have an amazing transfer portal class. Obviously, Houston had NFL talent all over the field. Tank Dell, Clayton Tune. And the problem is Alton McCaskill IV at running back. Houston would have been loaded, and they're just not getting it done. So they're recruiting great. They're in a hotbed of players. I think they probably want to find a better coach in Houston. Dana Holmgren has just been very underwhelming. But I don't know who you hire right now. I've got an idea. The guy you hire is Zach Kittley. You heard it here first. I'm going to go back and let you guys know. Zach Kittley is the offensive coordinator. And you hear that squeaking, I apologize. That's Ash. She's playing with a toy. But Zach Kittley is the offensive coordinator at Texas Tech. Let me give you some history here. He was the offensive coordinator at Houston Baptist with Bailey Zappi. And I'm so sorry about this. We might have to take a break to let her play. She'll take it outside. There she goes. So Bailey Zappi and the Stearns brothers, they're all playing at Houston Baptist. And their coach is Zach Kittley. They all moved to Western Kentucky. And when they get to Western Kentucky, they break records, right? They do it all. And Bailey Zappi throws for 5,000 yards and breaks every record. I think he threw 60 touchdowns. And Bailey Zappi's obviously with the Patriots now. And Zach Kittley, being this great offensive mind at Western Kentucky with Tyson Helton, he moves to Texas Tech. And they're at Texas Tech right now. And Texas Tech beat the brakes off of Ole Miss in the bowl game. It wasn't a fluke. They're going to be one of the favorites in the Big 12 this year. They're my sleeper pick. They're out there. And they got a wide receiver, Dre McCray. Dre McCray, when I turn on the tape, he's from Austin Peay, from the FCS level coming up. Go turn on the tape on Dre McCray. Runs a 10-300 meters. He's as fast as DK Metcalf. Dre McCray, when I turn on the tape, I see an NFL wide receiver. I see a complete stud. There's tape on him. Austin Peay actually played Alabama this year. He's the only guy from Austin Peay who looks like, I ain't scared of Bama. I'm going to beat everybody. And he's killing it. I'm so impressed with Dre McCray. I really love what Zach Kittley's doing. I think this is a young offensive mind, one of the best offensive coordinators in the country. And he's going to do great at A&M this year again, at Texas Tech. And I see him getting a job. And him being a background from Houston Baptist, from the Texas area, great at recruiting, knows the pipeline. I think he's at the forefront for an opportunity to get a job at Houston. I think he can get that head coaching job. That's just an out-of-the-box idea. If he's not getting a Power 5 head coaching job, somewhere else, like a bigger job. But I like that one, personally. So there you go. Barry was 5'8". Yeah, Barry Sanders was 5'8". Yeah, so are some of the women on Tinder, bro. Some of these women on Tinder, some of these women in TikTok, they're telling me their side. I'm 5'6", 220. I'm like, dude, you sound just like Emmitt Smith in his prime, bro. Right? Who was it? Kevin Samuels talked about it. I let a lot of these girls know, man, you're shaped like an NFL running back without the muscle mass. Stop playing. And you better be pulling a wagon. You better be thicker than a Snicker with that type of dimensions. Let me tell you. Anyways, why are you here miserable? Why are you living your own life in misery? Hey, man, you boys are mad. Be nice. Be nice. Everybody can't be future national champs. LSU, we got Nuss Bus. Okay, so it's true. Not everybody can be a national champion. Only 5 current coaches are national champs. 133 schools. Only 5 of them won national champs. You got Nick Saban. You got the kid, Kirby Smart. You got Mac Brown, Jimbo Fisher, and Dabo. Come on, bro. Not everybody can win a national title. Those ain't even great coaches. Mac Brown hasn't won one since, obviously, Vince Young. Jimbo's never going to win another one, as far as I'm concerned. I'm on record for saying it. Quote me. But it's just, I hate that they try to make coaches hold them to this standard that they need to win national titles. No, they don't. Kirk Ferentz never won a national title. Frank Beamer didn't win a national title. Like, all-time great coaches that didn't win national titles. You're telling me you think USC's mad they didn't have a national title? They want to win one. Don't get me wrong. But Lincoln Riley's a hell of a coach. Jim Harbaugh's a hell of a coach. You think Michigan's upset right now? Oh, come on, man. Michigan ain't mad. Come on, dude. They're good. You don't have to win it all. That was rhetorical. Staub is a freshman. He'll be okay. Yes. Arch Manning not going to play his freshman year at Texas. He might transfer after his freshman year. Daddy Bryant, I don't believe that's true. I think he's going to be there for at least 2 years. I think he wants to compete next spring. Not saying he's going to win the job. But usually, and I'm going to talk about five-star quarterbacks. Five-star quarterbacks, when they get to the collegiate level, they don't start their freshman year. If they do, they start at the end of their freshman year. They win the job towards the end. Shout out to Cade for doing it. Shout out to Klubnik. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence for eventually beating out Kelly Bryant. JT Daniels started his freshman year. Big mistake, but he did it. The rest of the guys all redshirted because they're behind professionals. They redshirted because they're behind professionals. I'm talking about Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Justin Fields. Not Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence redshirted? Didn't he? Deshaun Watson, right? Man. Don't mean to draw a blank on you. But yeah, the guys, 5 stars are all redshirting. Drake May, she redshirted to Sam Howell. 5 stars redshirt to professional quarterbacks. And if you ask me, Ewers is a professional quarterback. Ewers is a pro. So no, I didn't expect Arch Manning to even be close to starting. He's going to redshirt. And that's just the way that goes. Chandler just warming up his coaching career. Okay. Shout out to you. Nobody cares. Deion Sanders is not a great head coach. Yeah, Mark, I don't know what you're talking about. If you win everywhere you go, that makes you a great head coach. That's how we judge great head coaches. He wins everywhere he goes. Promotes the program well. Recruits players who aren't a nuisance to the program. He's not lowering his character standards or ethics to win. Teaching young men how to be professionals and how to be adults and holding them accountable. Yeah, I have no problem with what Coach Prime does. If you're envisioning him calling plays, that's not his lane. It's not what he does. I like the way he runs the program. I see a lot of head coaches understand their role as far as organizing the school, leading the kids into battle or into the game, motivating them to be the best version of themselves. I'm cool with everything Coach Prime does. I really am. I think you guys misunderstand what a head coach does. Head coach isn't out there in the trenches like that. It's just not the way it works. It bugs me. What if Sanders gets hurt? Then the season's over. What team is overcoming losing their starting quarterback? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Colorado's last championship was in 1990. Thank you, Mark. You know how many schools haven't won a national title since 1990? Do you want me to go through the list of schools that haven't won a national title since 1990? It's a long list, bruh. It's a long list. I'm letting you know now. Incarnate local. Incarnate. 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 Is it incarnate? Sanders will replicate what he did at an HBCU conference, got the players and weapons to do better than last year. Yeah, dollar bills, there's only one problem with that, and I think everybody needs to keep that into perspective, is what he did at the HBCU level was he out-talented teams. He recruited a ton of great players who were better than the other teams, and that's how they won games. You can't really do that at Colorado. There's other teams just as talented as you. So now you have to out-develop and out-coach them when the talent's equivalent. They didn't do that at JSU. That's why everybody's kind of against them, but they're not understanding. he has different coordinators this time around. They have different coaches. They have different kind of roles that they all play. Hopefully, they figured that part out. That's the only hole in their game. It's the only gripe you can possibly have is saying they don't quite measure up in certain aspects. But outside of that, brother, outside of, this dwelling on their lack of success at the HBCU level, and don't get me wrong, they won so many games. I don't even know why people have the nerve to show their face saying something negative about the program. It drives me crazy. Like, I look at it and I just go, what the hell are you talking about? They won everything. I'm willing to bet $2,500 he do throw more than 40 touchdowns. Okay, New Orleans, I don't think that that's a very realistic number. And the reason for that is the amount of quarterbacks in the country that threw over 40 touchdowns last year. I need everybody to keep it in perspective when they talk about stats. NCAA passing leaders. Like, if you make a claim like that, you just throw it out there. You have to slow down and actually do the research. Because last year, there were only 4 quarterbacks that threw for over 40 touchdowns. And those 4 quarterbacks were right here. And you're talking about Caleb Williams, a Heisman Trophy winner, C.J. Stroud, an NFL quarterback, Clayton Tune, who had Tank Dell, and they put up an insane amount of numbers, okay? And then Austin Reed, Western Kentucky, they throw the ball every single damn down. 600 attempts. You just can't be that unrealistic and say he's going to throw 40 touchdowns or more than 40 touchdowns. It doesn't happen all that often at the FBS level. So when everybody starts making these claims, just slow down. Because I study stats, I study results, I study rosters, I study the transfer portal. I know every aspect of college football. And when I see fans make claims like this, it's just so obtuse. It's unproven. It's not warranted. What you want to say, what I want you to understand is a guy, and let me scroll down here until I see him. Where's Cam Ward? There's Cam Ward down here at 34th place. Cam Ward threw for 23 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Okay, Cam Ward had better stats at the FCS level against better competition. Okay, when you're looking, Cam Ward at Incarnate Word threw 47 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Better numbers than Shedeur Sanders at the FCS level. Moved up to the Pac-12 and saw his production cut in half. And this is a man who threw for 4,600 yards the previous year and goes down to 3,000. Now, Shedeur Sanders is right around 3,000 yards. So to say there's not going to be a drop-off is almost uninformed. I don't want to say, dare I say, ignorant. It's unrealistic. There's going to be a drop-off. And by all accounts, when you watch Cam Ward play football, he's an NFL quarterback. He's very good. So if I'm looking at an FCS guy moving into the Pac-12, and I have a case study right here, I have the prime example for you. Cam Ward, and you're looking at 47 and 10. So just think about that the next time you try to say, hey man, I don't think they're going to be that, or I think he's going to throw 40 touchdowns. It's like, no, I just saw an FCS guy at a much higher level throw 47 touchdowns and go down to 23. Now, still very good season if you ask me. Still very comparable. But it's just different in the Pac-12 when you're trying to throw the rock. Just so you understand. Cam Ward's a good quarterback. There's no knock on Shedeur either. I believe in Shedeur. I just want people to be realistic when they start guessing at how much his stats are going to improve or disprove. So I'll take that $2,500 bet. If you got $2,500, let's go. I got $2,500. I'm good for it. We need to talk offline. Hit me up with a DM. I want that bet. I'm letting you know right now. I want that bet. So if you're just talking out your, you know what, then more power to you. But if you're really about it, I'm about it. Let's go. I'm letting you know right now. I'm not drinking the Deion Sanders Kool-Aid. All right, Mark, I don't know what you're drinking. Do you know that phrase, drinking the Kool-Aid? Do you know what that's about? It's about a mass suicide where everybody drank poison Kool-Aid. If you drink the Kool-Aid, everybody died together. Do you know about it? The cult suicide? Okay, never mind. I'll let it go. He's a Nebraska bum? My bad. Oregon State's better than Colorado right now. This is true. Oregon State's a top 25 team. Oregon State's a very good team. I don't understand what you're saying. Feedy has football speed. Defense will win games. Waiting to see CU's football defense, trenches and linebackers. Yeah, that's true. Their front seven is very good. They have a lot of people going there. The player Coach Prime took from JSU were the only because of him going to hit the portal anyways. Yeah, Dougie Fresh, that's real. That's cool. Say, Dougie Fresh, 6 minutes you're on. On. I agree. Travis is not a lockdown DB. Thank you. He's much better wide receiver than he is DB. Yeah, I think he's a world-class wide receiver. So I think he just needs to learn to run the routes correctly, get out of the breaks, get off the jam, and he'll be a great wide receiver because he's good with the ball. He knows what he's doing. Blame the coaches at fault for the players leaving. The only player you could have win the Heisman is a wide receiver. You sound absurd, Mark Nethercutt. I don't know what you're talking about. Sauce Gardner was locked down. Okay, Sauce Gardner was locked down. Shout out to you. All the good players from JCU only there. Please don't repeat your stuff more than once. Please, thank you. That's not true, Sauce Gardner. There we go. A lot of people saying Sauce Gardner. Oh, and Derek Stingley. Stingley wasn't a lockdown corner at all. I want to make that very clear. Texas Shorthorns. Oh, not the Longhorns. Had a veteran backup quarterback in the Big 12 championship game against Colorado that we won. Chris Mims and Major Applewhite. Here we go, Chris Mitchell. So, Chris Mitchell, your example is Chris Sims and Major Applewhite. This is late 90s, early 2000s, if I remember correctly. Early 2000s. How in the world is that the example? How in the world is that the case study you want to present to me? How? It's 20 years ago. It's not relevant. It's 20 years ago. That's a one-off. That's a, what's the word I want to use? That's some random circumstance. That's ridiculous. Rico, you just talking. Bet 2,500. You think I'm just talking. I'm not just talking. You think I'm just, what? I'm just talking. You're just listening. That dude got 3 catches on Travis. Oh, the wide receiver? Yeah. Coach Prime was the best thing to happen to HBCU since Walter Payton. Okay. He was healing from an ankle injury. I got all this, guys. Stingley was really good his freshman year. Will make you good. Yeah, going to practice against better players makes you good. This is why I'm excited about Jacquez Robinson. Playing at Alabama for the last 2 years. Didn't get in the game all that much, but practicing every single day against great wide receivers, the receiver core at Alabama is great. Anytime Isaiah Bond shows up and he's not in your starting lineup and he's fighting for 3rd and 4th string, you have a really good receiving core, just so you know. WTF is this dude talking about? I don't know. Travis Hunter isn't the best DB on the team anymore. Fair enough. Is Cormani McClain starting the first game or is he going to get redshirted? Daddy Bryant, he could start the first game and still redshirt. You can play 4 games. So we don't know where he's going, if he's starting or not, but he can play up to 4 games and still redshirt. If it's me, I'm having all my freshmen play at least 4 games and still redshirting. So really important. You can get them some experience. Thank you, Solo. You say you love my content. I'm the most knowledgeable. Thank you very much. Coach Prime has the network. You still ain't trying to bet, Rico. Dude, I just got to your comments. Relax. I'm reading the chat. I'm behind. It's going to be like that. You guys all write a lot. And I take my time to explain every single one of these. We're here. Rico always has the girls in here. Thank you very much. Colin Bolin. Hey, Colin Bolin, shout out to you. That's a UConn fan. You guys ever want to meet a real UConn fan? That young man talks to me about UConn. And shout out to me. I do know UConn football. But my goodness, that dude is a UConn dude all the way. Shout out to you, Colin Bolin. Thanks for being here. You're learning. Shout out to those guys who are learning who don't know who the hell I am. I bet there's a bunch of YouTube guys out there who are like, who is this guy talking? I've never heard of this guy. Yeah, I'm Rico Knows, and I'm a well-known commodity on the TikTok community. So when you see me here with 1,700 subscribers on YouTube, you're like, who is he? Dude, I'm ready to take over the world. I know what I'm talking about. Guys come at me and try to test my gangster, and they'll be like, hey, you don't even know this guy. You don't know this. Bro, I know your team better than you. I know your favorite team better than you by a mile. There's just no limitation to what I know. And I know every team in the country, 133 of them. It is what I do. I'm letting you know now. It's not a game. And I'm not sitting here Googling nothing. I'm just talking because that's what I do. Only 2 playing both ways, Travis and possibly Cormani. Cormani ain't doing it. He wants to play both. Calm down. He's going to probably start. Elevation is pain. Yeah, if you think Cormani McClain's going to start, more power to you. But I watched him get toasted by a 3-star. You guys know this, right? I made a video about it. I watched him get toasted by a 3-star at practice, Under Armour practice. And the 3-star is the kid going to Utah. What's his name? Mikey Matthews. And shout out to AJ Green. He wrote to me. AJ Green said, yo, Rico, that guy is the truth. Mr. Reliable. Mikey Matthews is the real deal out of Mission Viejo. 3-star kid going to Utah, wide receiver. But I watched him just eat up Cormani McClain at practice every day. So, yes, Cormani's a great athlete, and he's got some work to do. Fundamentally, terrible. Didn't get out of his back pedal. Didn't turn his hips. Just bad habits. It's what happens when you're in high school and you're the most superior athlete on the field. You're not used to having to push yourself and pay attention to fundamentals. They'll get that out of him. He'll get coached better. But great raw talent and athlete at what he is. But I watched Mikey Matthews put the work on this kid. And AJ Green writes me and he's like, yo, Rico, just letting you know, man, that kid is, I've been trying to tell you guys about him. And I'm like, hey, shout out to you. Thank you for reaching out, AJ. Yeah, so pretty cool. But yeah, I've seen him get beat a lot, just so you know. 28 touchdowns passing. Bro, I can't wait. Are you excited for the 12-game format? I am. Hold on. It just skipped the chat on me. I got to go back up. Sorry, guys. I'm almost there. I'm not even close to where you guys are at. All you guys talking. Apologize. Sorry. We're somewhere in here. Somebody said, what is this guy talking about? Are you talking about me? What am I talking about? I'm talking about sports, bro. Here we go. Elevation is pain. Yes, it is. Cool. How many teams have a losing season and turn it around? Not a lot. Mark Nethercutt, it actually happens all the damn time. It really does. Now, how many teams have a losing season and turn it around into what TCU did, USC did, or Tulane? That's a rarity. That's not happening every year. It really isn't. But going from a losing team to 7 wins, that happens every year, bro. That's common all over the place. So when you ask a question like that, I don't like not having the exact answer for you. It makes me want to do a bunch of research and get you the answer. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now, but you're a hater. You're just a hater at this point because you're asking rhetorical questions. Travis is working with a wide receiver coach. Yeah, we're all aware. Car elevation is cap. I played against CU in 2009. 3 technique, no problems. All right, 3 business. I hear you. People can say they've never been to Colorado. Okay, I've lived in high elevation. I've lived in low elevation. I don't think it's cap at all. My name is Alan. I played FCS ball in New Hampshire. Huge college football fan. Discovered you a few days ago and must admit, Rico knows respect. Thank you very much, Alan. I hope you're watching me on TikTok and YouTube. I'm obviously here for longer conversations about football and sports. A lot of guys get me in 3-minute increments over there on TikTok, but here I can talk for hours at a time. I want to be your favorite podcast every single day. I want you guys to wake up every day and say, I'm going to listen to Rico Knows before I go to bed every night. We've been talking for a couple hours now, 2 hours, and it's easy, bro. Jerry Rice ran a 4.740. Okay. Yes, he did. But you know what else? In 1980s, and I went and looked this up. I went and looked up all the 40 times in the late 80s, early 90s. Ricky Waters ran a 4.7540. Ricky Waters. Go look it up. Ran a 4.7540. One of the most prolific running backs in the 90s. Ran a 4. He wouldn't get drafted today with a 4.7540. The average skill player in that time frame ran a 4.6, 4.740. Jerry Rice. When everybody tells you that's what he ran, there were some anomalies. There was Anthony Miller with a 4.4. There was Deion Sanders with a 4.2. It's a very rare thing. When you go look at those 40-yard dashes, and you can look it up. It's somewhere on the internet. You go look at those 40, it'll be like 4 or 5 guys in the 4.4 range. And then everybody else is 4.5, 4.6. Some guys are 4.8. Jerry Rice running a 4.7 in 1982, 83, 80, whenever he did it. What you need to understand is that was the equivalent of a 4.540 today. So when people say he ran a 4.7, yeah, everybody ran a 4.7. Don't forget it. Okay, so just lean off that a little bit. No, and I can show you a list of wide receivers who ran a 4.7 who aren't successful. And that list is a hell of a lot longer than the ones who were successful. Trust me, there's a lot of guys at home right now who ran a 4.740 and didn't make it in the league. So stop pointing off these ones way over here and pay attention to that vastly large list of guys who didn't make it. Because there's a guy who signed, there's a guy on Twitter today, right? East Carolina. What did he do? He said he's 6'4", 210. So I'm like, man, I'm going to go vouch for him. Because he did so many great things at East Carolina this year. Let me show you guys. So when you look at East Carolina and their stats, I got to fix this real quick, my bad. And you go right here, their receivers. They got this guy, Isaiah Winstead, right here. 88 receptions. Okay? 88 receptions, 1,000 yards, 12 yards a catch, 6 touchdowns. Isaiah Winstead put out a mixtape like he was on Destroying, trying out for one-on-one drills, trying to win a competition for 10K. He put out this mixtape of practice drills where he's running these crazy routes. And he's like, I can't even get an invite to a camp. The man had 1,000 yards receiving. Can't get an invite to a camp. So I'm like, man, somebody's in my DMs hitting me up. Hey, Rico, did you see this guy? He did that. I'm like, let me see. Let me go look him up. I looked him up. Are you sure? Are you sure you want me to vouch for this guy? Pro day, 4.7840. Hand time, 4.7840. This man runs a 4.840, and you want to know why he can't make it in the league, or why he's not getting invites to camp, why he didn't get drafted. His routes look crazy. Go find the film. I'm telling you right now, Isaiah Winstead, go look it up. You'll be like, yo, this guy ain't getting no invite. I made a video on this today. It's on my TikTok. You can go look it up. You'll be like, oh, Rico, you're so right. It's crazy. You can't make it all, man. So, yes, Jerry Rice ran a 4.7. But you run a 4.7 today, you're not getting drafted. It's just the way it is. Because nobody else is. There's so many players running 4.3, 4.4. Slusher is slow as molasses. He's slow as dial up. I hear you. Travis will be a DB with Prime as his coach. Colin Boyle, I don't believe so. I think he's going to be a wide receiver. Not start both ways for the whole season, I guarantee it. No shit, Mark Nethercutt. Nethercutt, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? We know. I'm not worried about Charles Kelly with Dennis Thurman looking over his shoulder the entire time. Prime knows defense too. Yeah, Dougie Fresh, somebody's got to take the blame. Somebody's got to wear that helmet. You don't want to have 3 guys having input on what the defense does. You need a defensive coordinator that you can trust. You can turn your back from and know that they're doing something behind closed doors, preparing with their own game plan and have their own calls during the defense. Like, you need a guy that you can trust to do that. That's why you hire a defense coordinator. You don't hire a defensive coordinator that you have to look over. You don't hire a defense coordinator that you need to overrule when he's making decisions. You hire a defense coordinator you can trust to make those decisions. So having Dennis Thurman, having the fact that he knows defense, that's not good enough. You should have a defensive coordinator you don't need to correct or steer straight. Everybody needs to remember that. You're very smart, Rico. Good for you. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here, beautiful. Yo, Rico, what up, Zach? Zach's in the house. Shout out to Texas State. Slusher will be a depth player. Yes, he will. Let's see how Mario Williams does against Travis Hunter. Okay, Mark Nethercutt. I don't think they're going to be doing one-on-ones at practice. You think they're going to be only 2 on the field? It doesn't work that way. There's a whole lot of other guys helping out on that defense. UConn upsetting Tennessee. Colin Boyle, you can call it what you want. I don't believe it. UConn lost a lot of stud players. I don't think they're beating Tennessee. I have Tennessee having a really rough time with UTSA, but then they lost Franklin at their wide receiver. So that sucks. But I think Frank Harris is poised to beat Tennessee. I don't see UConn doing it. Mike Leach, the GOAT, that's my coach. R.I.P. R.I.P., man. He's a great coach. Travis Hunter has got burned. Yep, it happens. If you're a DB and you get beat, what happens? It's a touchdown. That's what happens. You're a DB, you get beat, it's a touchdown. You're a linebacker, you get beat, it's a first down. You're a lineman, you get beat, it's a sack. It's just a little different. Right? The consequences of playing defensive back, you're going to get beat, and if you get beat, it's going to be on TV. That's all. Rico and I are waiting on Texas State, Colorado Natty. Shout out to you, Zach. I knew you were going to go there. Is Shiloh him? Shiloh is the son of Coach Prime. I don't think he's him. I don't think Shiloh's any better than anybody else on the team. I think he's a good player. I think he's good depth. But don't go around saying, if you're going to say Shiloh is him, then we're using the term too liberally. Then we're just letting everybody have it. We're tripping, bro. You can't pass it around like that. Any team in the Pac-12 could have beaten Jackson State. Yes, including Colorado. All I hear from Deion Sanders is talk, talk, talk. Mark Nethercutt, what else do you want to hear? Are you watching him for fucking coaching advice? What have you ever heard from Nick Saban other than talking? What have you heard from any coach other than talking? Do you go to press conferences? Are they in there talking scheme? Or then they're saying this is what we're going to do? Are they talking X's and O's or are they just talking? Absurd, bruh. Why didn't he coach at Florida State? They didn't hire him. Mark Norvell, a different guy, Mike Norvell got hired and brought his own coaching staff with him. What is this guy? Who is Shiloh? I'm so lost. Shiloh is a safety. Shedeur Sanders is safety. Shiloh clears Lusher. Okay. All stock and retail. Stop it, big mate. Rumors, sure. Okay. How many years Shiloh got left? I believe he has 2. Update on Alton. I have no update on Alton McCaskill. He was supposed to be going on a trip to Arizona State. I apologize. What transfer portal site do you use? All right, Colin Ball. I use 3 different transfer portal sites. Obviously, Rivals, On3, and 24/7. I trust none of them. I use Twitter and local newspapers. So I will look for a school, and then I will look for the closest newspaper, and then I will look up their beat writers, and I will trust those before I trust anything on the internet. I will trust a local beat writer with a journalism degree, having to go through publication, having a sports editor and a copy editor to approve what he puts into writing, not some dude just winging it and writing dumb shit on Twitter. I don't like it. So that's how I get down. I do not trust these recruiting websites, though. They are recruiting websites, not transfer portal websites. They don't know what they're talking about. They make so many errors, it's crazy. Unless you see me working for one of them, don't believe anything they're doing. I'm letting you know that now. Don't believe any of them. 24/7 Sports is a terrible website for recruiting. They have the most errors of any website I've seen. On3 actually looks decent, user-friendly, has some good sorting composition. Like On3 is really well designed compared to 24/7. 24/7 has so many errors, you can't believe what you see with your own eyes. You just can't. I've done it 100. I found errors tonight. I find errors every day on 24/7. Don't do it. 24/7 is like my wife's bank account. I don't know what that means. Is it always missing stuff? Hornsby rocks. He's the GOAT. Yeah, he's extremely fast. Congratulations, subscribers are up. Oh, thank you, Ruben. I don't really stress it. It just happens. Shiloh is a graduate transfer. Graduate transfers only have 1 year of eligibility left. Daddy Bryant, that is not true. Graduate transfers can have anywhere from 3 to 1 year of eligibility left. Graduate transfers, all that means is you earned your degree. There are many graduate transfers with multiple years of eligibility. Shane Hooks is on the team. Not Shane Hooks, Cokes. Shane Cokes is on the team. He has 2 years of eligibility left, graduate transfer. You can be, with the COVID year and your redshirt year, you can be a graduate transfer sophomore. You have 3 years of eligibility left. You have 2 years of eligibility left. Graduate transfers does not mean you only have 1. Now, the vast majority of graduate transfers have 1 year of eligibility left. The graduate transfers from Virginia have 3 years of eligibility left because they didn't count last year as eligibility. They didn't count them because they didn't count their year of eligibility because of the shooting, the mass shooting. Yeah, graduate transfers does not mean you only have 1 year of eligibility left. Not at all. Just so you know. Coach Prime building an SEC defense for the Pac-12. Yep, most guys are. I'm not so sure about TCU this year. There you go. Coach Prime, respect. Eli Ricks isn't a still. I'm playing tug of war with my dog, by the way. She's dragging me off. She wants to play tug of war with her toys. I'm so sorry. Think Wingate. Wingate is in South Carolina. Okay, shout out to you. Eli Ricks should have stayed another year. Hey, he'd still be undrafted. He's not good. He isn't a still. If he's good, he would have been drafted. Yeah, that's not always true, but in his case, it is. Think LSU pushing running back Diggs and MSU wide receiver Coleman. So, yeah, both from Louisiana. Yeah, so Diggs is 100%. They say he's coming. Coleman going as well. Hey, man, you're going to get some great players. Get some great players. Who's the best running back room in the country? Best running back room in the country, according to my list, is Michigan. Second best running back room in the country is Ole Miss. It really is. Ole Miss is the second best running back room in the country. I'm sorry, I'm playing tug of war with my dog. Third best running back room in the country, I think I had... Did I have USC? No, I had somebody else. Who did I have? Penn State. Penn State was third. Fourth was USC, I think. Fifth, Ohio State. All right, sweetie. I don't even have Notre Dame in the top 10, just so you know. There are a lot of gems in the portal. There really are. I freaking love your content. Thank you, Solo, man. I appreciate that. I need people who rock with me. That's who I'm with. Chat disconnected will successfully connect you. I'm sorry if I missed some chat, guys. Who do we see committed? I know we're stuck. It says we have 173 watching, but I don't know if that's accurate. I highly doubt it. It's been stuck on 173 for a while. I just appreciate you guys for being here. So we'll stay focused and keep it rocking. Sorry if people are going to bed. It is what it is. We are talking pretty late at night. If you guys want to watch the replay, you can. Do you think if Travis Hunter finishes with 1,000 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns on offense, 8 interceptions on defense, Colorado finished 93? Yes, that would win a Heisman. As a matter of fact, the only reason Charles Woodson won a Heisman is because he was punt returning, and he had an amazing punt return, and he posed appropriately. So there's just no way in the hell that's going to happen. This is correct. That's pretty nuts. It's a question. What type of season does Travis Hunter need to be in the Heisman talk? It's really about Colorado being relevant. The Heisman is a quarterback position. It's a quarterback award. So, no, I don't. And guess what? It has to come from the Power 5 to begin with. So, there hasn't been a Heisman Trophy winner outside of the Power 5 since Ty Detmer, 1990. So, that's number one. You got to come from the Power 5 to win the Heisman. And then just lately, it's been a quarterback award with the exception of receiver one time. But, yeah, I'm not with you there. Travis Hunter, I don't see him being a Heisman favorite in any way, shape, or form. Maybe 400 yards receiving, 3 interceptions more realistic. Yeah, that's probably true. Moran, that's probably true. Stop with these unrealistic stats for Travis Hunter. I'm a Colorado fan. It's ridiculous having one. Yeah. Heisman is a quarterback award, to be honest. There you go. Hey, man, I like this Geno Moran dude. I'm with it. I'm with it. Exactly. What type of season does Travis Hunter need to be in the Heisman conversation? Charles Woodson won the Heisman. Once again, Daddy Bryant, Charles Woodson, they were a phenomenal team that year. Charles Woodson returned punts, and that's what really put him over the top. Just so you understand. Hit us with the actual factual. Shout out to you, Willie Bobo. Don't give me no Willie Bobo. 24/7 says Alton to Colorado. Yeah, I know that, baby, but I've talked to Alton directly. I don't listen to 24/7. They get it wrong all the time. Now, they might get it right, but don't take 24/7 for gospel. They get it wrong all the time. I talk to the players, man. They just put in some crystal ball shit where dudes are guessing. I reach out and talk to the players. Just wait for it to be official before you believe in anything. I know in this generation you guys want to get the answer first, but I need everybody to just slow down and just wait for it to really matter. Marvin Harrison had 1,000 yards receiving his sophomore year. How come Travis can't have 1,000 yards receiving at Colorado? Well, Marvin Harrison is 6'4", 220 pounds, and conceivably one of the best receivers in a long effing time. It's totally different. He also had C.J. Stroud at quarterback. He also had a ton of other players on the field to draw attention away from him. It's just not the same, man. You just sound crazy. You sound absolutely ridiculous. Wingate is funny. I think Travis playing wide receiver full-time will be brought to emergency situations to play to be. Sure enough, that'll work. Yeah, I don't think Coach Prime wants him to play DB. I'm being real. Not the way they're recruiting. They keep signing DB after DB after DB. I think he's a world-class wide receiver. Houston go after Texas State or UTSA coach. Hey, Taylor leaving UTSA is a realistic thing. They're not going to go after Texas State. Houston will not go after G.J. Kinney. G.J. Kinney has not proven anything to get that job. G.J. Kinney coached 1 year at UIW. He's going to be at Texas State. He's doing great, but, nah. The Houston job, remember, getting a Power 5 job does not come from the Group of 5 teams. Group of 5 head coaches very rarely get a Power 5 job. Houston is a Power 5 job. They're not in the Big 12. You're going to get a coordinator get that job 90% of the time. I've studied this. Go look it up. I've studied this. All right? Jimbo Nix head coach at Blinn. You know who I think is the next head coach at A&M? And I called this a while ago. I think Cliff Kingsbury gets hired again. I think Cliff Kingsbury comes back. He was the quarterback's coach for Johnny Manziel, 2014. Cliff Kingsbury has roots down at A&M. So just so you're aware. Sorry, I'm getting pulled off the screen here. Coach Prime is Baby Saban, the way he operates his team. Yeah, he's pointing it. Yep, that's normal. A lot of guys are Baby Saban. A lot of guys are disciples of Saban, learning how to run a program just like him. They're not doing it, but they're there. Are you excited for the 12-game playoff? 12-team playoff format. I'm excited, but I want to remind everybody that we all talk about the talent needs to be balanced. And then when we go and balance the talent with the transfer portal, you all start screaming how terrible the players are. We're balancing the talent with the transfer portal. All the players from the SEC that don't make it on those teams are transferring out to other Power 5 schools, and you're all negative about them. And it's because you're not supporters of the players. And this is my gripe with all you fan bases out there. When you treat the players like they're a commodity and you don't like them anymore because they're not at your school, that's my biggest gripe with you. That's my biggest issue with you. These players are still good players. They're still good kids. They're still got a future, and they're going to be great at their next school. But everybody always goes, oh, that kid sucked anyways. Get him out of here. That kid's You don't even really support the players. What you support is the brand and the jersey of your school, the colors of your school. You don't even support the players on that team. Because if any of those players leave that team, all of a sudden they're trash to you. All of a sudden you don't like them anymore. You don't want them. Make that make sense. Break that down for me. If you're a fan and you support players, then be consistent. Don't flip. Those players are getting ready to leave. Wish them all the best. Hey, man, I wish them well. Once a Longhorn, always a Longhorn. Once a Roll Tide, War Eagle, whatever you want to say. But I never see that shit. Every single day I get on here and I just see negativity spew. Oh, Savelle, small. Well, he ain't shit. He's leaving here because he can't play for us. He's nothing. We want the talent to be balanced out. We want these players to move to other schools because we got a 12-team playoff coming up and we want competitive games. And we want other teams to have a chance to win a national title. It's not going to happen. Teams are going to get the brakes beat off of them because the talent's not balanced out yet. Amazing use of the word obtuse. Shout out to you, Steve. Thank you for knowing what it meant. Do you think everybody knows what it meant? They're like, oh, is that a big triangle? Is that a big triangle? What's he talking about? Sorry. Chat reset on me, so it's going to take me a little bit to find out where I was. Give me some time here. You can listen to the recording of them drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm a big USC fan. Yeah, suiciding? Yeah, it's bad. I'm a big USC fan. All SEC teams in Colorado blow. Okay, shout out to you, Willie Bobo. Shout out to you, man. Joe Hayden. Washington didn't really utilize him the way they should. That goes for every team. Any team, right? First time viewer, love the show. Do you think Colorado has any shot at Zachary Franklin or Keon Coleman? Not necessarily. I believe those guys are leaving their schools for a bag, for a real NIL payout. Both of them are essential. Are great wide receivers. I think any team would be honored to have them. I think Ohio State might be interested in Keon Coleman. I really do. Zachary Franklin, I have no idea where he's going, but this is a stud wide receiver. They got him 2 stars all over the recruiting websites. He was 2 stars coming out of high school. That man is 5 stars. That man is a solid 5-star wide receiver. Whoever signs Zachary Franklin, the headline better be, so-and-so gains 5-star transfer portal wide receiver. I'm letting you know now. Zachary Franklin is a beast. Now, I don't know where they go. K-Man, I apologize. I don't try to guess where players go. I just report where they go after the fact. And I will talk about what kind of fit they are or why they chose that school, how they fit in the offensive scheme, what their goals are. But I don't try to guess where people go. Not that often. Shout out to you, Colin. You're welcome. Sorry I'm so far behind in the chat that I'm barely getting to you guys saying thank you. Star don't always mean talent. It means so exposure. Yeah, you get stars when you when you go to a camp. I can remember being in high school. When we played in high school, we had this guy on our team, Frederick Collins, best running back in the country. So we thought, 2,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver. Went to San Diego State, went there to go break all of Marshall Faulk's records. It didn't work out. He couldn't make grades. Dad died. A lot of things went wrong. But seriously, the best player on our team. We had a quarterback go to San Diego State. We had a wide receiver go to San Diego State, actually get drafted in the league. to the Chiefs. We were feeding San Diego State, our entire team. I'll never forget it. We went home for the summer. We were all training. And one guy on our team, his name was Michael Craven. 6'3", 215 pounds, linebacker. He looked the part. Michael Craven couldn't tackle a soul. Michael Craven was one of the softest dudes on our team. We didn't think anything of him. He wasn't shit. But he went to a Nike camp that summer. And he went to a Nike camp, and he's chiseled, and he's got his shirt off, and he ran a 40, did a vertical, did this, did that. Dude, they gave Michael Craven 4 stars. We were all CIF semifinalists back-to-back years. They gave this man 4 stars and made him a USA Today All-American. He started getting offers from Florida State and Bobby Bowden. He started getting offers from Stanford, and I forgot who the coach was at the time, and Ty Willingham. Yeah, and he started getting offers from Pete Carroll and UCLA, and I was like, this kid is one of the worst guys on the team, bro. What are they doing? It's because he went to a Nike camp. And sure enough, he ended up committing to Stanford, never got drafted. Okay? Was terrible. He got there, and they go, whoa, this guy can't tackle? He didn't even start. He didn't even start. Michael Craven Jr. Michael Jordan Craven. His middle name was Jordan. I'm telling you right now, man, just not good. But those Nike camps, they didn't ever come talk to us. They didn't come ask the team, hey, who's the best player on the team? We're like, oh, yo, Freddie C over here, man. That dude's the truth. We had a guy named Jamal Williams, had 10 interceptions his senior year. He's a 4.3 40 dude. He was amazing. Ghetto fast, ghetto thug. Never was going to ever play a day in college. But he was great. Michael Craven might have been the 7th best player on the team. 7th best player on the team by 7th. And USA Today goes, he's an All-American. You put him on the first team linebacker, All-American. We're like, what the this kid can't play football. And that's how it happens at a lot of these recruiting websites. Did you go to their camp? You got exposure. They'll rate you, and we'll go from there. That's how it really works. Let me guess. You've seen it on YouTube. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about, Michael Sword. I apologize. Not losing, but 111, bro. If he goes 500, he's good. Yeah, 500 will get you the real deal. I worked as a recruitment intern at Colorado for Mel Tucker, and it's a totally different mentality now. I remember the standard then versus the standard now with Coach Prime, a total 180. Yeah, Mel Tucker wasn't there very long. Mel Tucker's not doing great at Michigan State. Yeah, it's a total different standard. A different caliber of player you can get to Colorado right now instead of before. Yeah, it doesn't happen. UConn, 1-11, 6-7. Went to a bowl game and lost. Like, that's what I'm looking for. That's realistic, and that's what we're doing here. I'm with it. Not a proven head coach in a Power 5 conference now. I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, Mark Northcutt, you're telling the truth. No coach was proven at the Power 5 level until they got there. There's not a single coach that just magically was proven at the Power 5 level. You had to start somewhere, get your first opportunity to be a head coach at the Power 5, and then you started winning. So what you're saying right now doesn't impress me in the slightest. There's not a single coach. Lincoln Riley, until he started coaching at Oklahoma, how was he proven at the Power 5 level? Chip Kelly, Nick Saban, doesn't matter who it is. Think about what you're saying. Exactly. What's the point? Pip Marine's all over it. What do you think of JB Live podcast? So Frosting, Coach JB, I will not watch him. He came on my channel on TikTok. He talked to me. Somebody told him we're cut from the same cloth. The reality is that man is a very big waste of space. He doesn't understand, and we're alpha males, but he's not a real alpha male because I can meet that dude in the street, and he ain't it, bro. I'm letting you know now. Coach JB, I just reached out to him. He said, hey, Rico, I got more guys college scholarships than you're giving me credit for. I said, all right, well, listen, I watched your team. I watched Last Chance U. I think you only got 4 guys scholarships your last year. He goes, I got 41 guys scholarships. Show me the 41, because I pay attention to every recruiting class. I pay attention to everybody who signs everywhere at every single school. That's the difference, okay, between me and all these other guys. I literally know 133 teams in the FBS level, and I know every player that signed to a class. I know their name. I know their journey. I know where they started. I know where they played high school ball. I have reviewed their huddle film. Whatever you want to say, I do this shit. So when a guy tries to claim on the internet, I got 41 guys offers, I got 41 guys scholarships, I was like, oh, hey, man, by the way, you said you got 41 guys at Independence. Can you give me that list? Because I'm missing it. I got only 4. I need the other 37. I wasn't even trying to check them like that. I just fact-checked myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you said 41. I'm missing 37 guys. And he's like, oh, you're a clown. Duh, duh, duh. All right, bro. I'm a clown. He goes, you saying anything for clicks. Me or you? So I don't get down with Coach JB. Me and him, we ain't cool. Game recognized, game no. We're both from Southern California. I think he's a little older than me. I don't care. I'm a grown-ass man. That dude talks out of turn. And he mistreats his dogs. I watched him. I watched him take his belt and go out there and threaten his dog. You see, my dog loves me. My dogs don't cower at a belt. That dude ain't tough to me, man. He keeps smoking cigars. I watched him run. I watched him run a 40. I run 5 miles every day. I'm chiseled, bro. I'm a damn senior leader. I've been a master sergeant for 5 years. Been a first sergeant for the last 3 years. I've been in the Army over 20 years. I'm a real killer, man. What is he doing? That dude can't run 40 meters. Go back and watch it on Netflix. It's embarrassing. He's running with a lineman on a drill. That dude ain't no athlete. He peaked in high school, man. There are so many teams in the Pac-12 that would have crushed Jackson State. Yeah, there's no point in talking about that, Mark. Mark, you just say the most ridiculous shit. Not a single thing you said. Mark, you know how you win in a debate? You know how you win in a debate between two people? The first person to learn something loses that debate. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're in a debate with somebody, the first person to learn something loses the debate. Because that means you didn't know what the other person knew. So if you learn anything, you lose in the debate. Everything you're writing here, I've learned nothing. I've learned nothing. I guarantee you, as I've been talking, you've been learning all night long. You lose the debate if you learn something. You've taught me nothing. Just so you know. I'm not a hater, I'm telling the truth. What impact is Shedeur Sanders going to bring to that secondary? So, Daddy Bryant, I don't think Shedeur Sanders brings any impact to the secondary, and I'm going to say it like this. Whether they have him or they don't, he doesn't impact the win total. The projected win total at Colorado doesn't change whether they have Shedeur Sanders or not. Think about that. That's the way I'm going to word it, right? So when you start looking at transfers, additions, and subtractions to the team, I want you to think about it from that perspective. I think they have enough players there already where they have a specific win total that we can estimate. And I don't think it changes much with the addition of one more player. You want an impact player. Go get Alton McCaskill the fourth. That impacts you. That gives you 2 more wins. You get what I'm saying? So Shiloh's not quite that impactful to that degree. Now, does he help the group? Does he give them depth? Does he improve practice reps? And does he keep Breedlove off the field? Whatever's the case. Yes, I think Shiloh's relevant in that regard. I also think he's relevant in helping the players understand what coaches' expectations are of them. Every time you have a new coach, the players need to understand what the expectations are of the new coach. And no better way to do that than to have a player like Shiloh there, right? That's important. So I need everybody to understand that, okay? Like you named Captain Obvious. Shout out to you, Pit Marine. Rico, you made a thought face after reading my post. It wasn't directed at you. Coach Prime brought more attention to HBCUs I've seen in my 34 years of living life. What you doing on here and TikTok? Okay. 3 Biden's. I think you're being positive. I apologize. Are you being negative or positive? I'm not sure. Are you saying he does more than I am? I'm not trying to advocate for HBCUs. I only cover FBS teams. So I don't cover the only time I ever watch HBCU football is when an FCS player transfers to an FBS school. So because some HBCU linebackers transferred, I went back and watched all their tape, and that lets me to go watch FCS football. That's how it works. I didn't watch Sacramento State all season, but the minute Cameron Scadaboo transferred to Arizona State, I went back and watched every single Sacramento State game. And that's how I discovered Marty Matpau. And that's how I discovered the number 1 safety in the draft. I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. I'm watching tape on Cameron Scadaboo, and then this guy pops off on tape, and I'm like, who's that number 5? That's how it happens for me sometimes. So I don't watch FCS football unless a player from the FCS transfers to the FBS. And then I go back and watch all his tape because I got to learn about the guy, right? I just told you guys I study every recruiting class. I study every player signing to an FBS team. I study every player in the transfer portal going to a different team in the FBS. But when a player comes up from the FCS, I don't know that name. I don't know that player. I don't care if he's an All-American. I don't care if he's All-Conference. I don't know him because he wasn't a part of an initial FBS class. He didn't transfer in. So when he transfers in, now I got to go back and learn about him. And that's when I go back and watch the tape. And that's why you'll see me watching a Campbell game or a Chattanooga, Tennessee game. And that's how I learn about players. So I know all the FBS players. And every now and then I got to go back and retread through FCS tape to find a guy that just transferred in. Like RJ Martinez. He just transferred into Baylor. He's in the quarterback battle. I'm like, who is RJ Martinez? Well, he's been playing at NAU. Now I got to go watch all the NAU tape. I'm watching all the NAU games, and I'm watching Big Sky football, and everybody's like, man, this guy knows everything about Big Sky. No, I just went to go watch all the games because of one guy transferred to Baylor. That's how that works. So just so you guys understand where I'm coming from, heads up. Pac-12 had the most ranked teams like what? Yep, they did. But you act like a chick sometimes, just saying, though. Okay, three business. If you're saying I act like a woman, yeah, leave me. You should meet me sometime, bro. You should meet me in real life. Colorado's last national championship was 1990. Shout out to you, Mark. You're a hater. Yep, yes he is. His name is Deion Sanders. Just because he's an NFL Hall of Famer just means his players are going to play like she did. Okay, Mark. Coaches don't need to play, man. Exactly. He's annoying. There you go. 100 teams haven't won. Pip Marine, I'm with you, bro. Pip Marine's on my level. You're welcome. Like your videos. Thank you, Cindy. Just a hater. Hear yourself. Everybody knows. Just want to keep Kevin Coleman. I just want to see Keon Coleman stay at Michigan State. Not going to happen, EMT. He's leaving. He wants a better quarterback. He wants to get drafted, man. He wants to get drafted higher. Appreciate your videos and your knowledge. Thank you very much, Green Creole. UConn always under the radar. Yeah, exactly. Talk to him, Rico. Murder. It's murder. That man a hater. Bruh, this man is insufferable. Yep. Why I hate Deion so much. Tension. Shiloh is solid playing in the box. Definitely needs improvement in coverage. Most people do. I don't know anything about Shiloh or Slusher. Slusher's slow. Rico, I'm asking if Shiloh, him, legit player, good potential. Didn't see him. Yeah, he's fine. Mr. Lightwork, what's good? Shout out to Mr. Lightwork. You guys don't know Coach Lightwork. That's one of my boys on TikTok. He's got a hell of a following on TikTok. This is a hilarious man. I appreciate him. Thank you for being here, brother. Dude knows his stuff. Little University of Raging Cajuns. I know a lot about Raging Cajuns. A lot. You're in my subscription. Shout out to you, baby. How much did you like Kenneth Walker in college last year? I thought he was a very good running back. I liked him a lot. The Ross kid, Cincinnati drafted, was a bust. He ran a 4.1 from Washington University. So, yeah, Justin Ross running a 4.1 40, 4.2 40. What's really important is Justin Ross only had 1 year of 1 year of production. That's the reality of the situation. He had 1 year of production, and that's why I don't like receivers in 1 year of production, because they're not proven. They just have freak accidents 1 year, and then all of a sudden you think they're pros, and they're not. So just remember that, okay? Steve McNair won in 94. Shout out to you. I remember it vividly. It was the prime of my football existence. Colorado goes 7-4. Will Sanders be a Heisman list? It should be there. No, if they go 7-4, there's nobody as a Heisman finalist on a 7-4 team. Don't care what your stats look like. There's other candidates out there: Frank Harris, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Blake Corum. Michigan is going to have a really good season, potentially undefeated. Ewers will have a great season at Texas. There's going to be other players across the country with more relevant stats and more team success if they're 7-4. That's not a Heisman. I think a lot of you guys need to get off the Heisman train when you think about these players. They just need to do well, win their conference, and they'll be straight. But like Michael Penix Jr. led the country in passing until the bowl game. And his team was 8th in the polls. Was he a Heisman finalist? No. I want you guys to keep it in perspective. Michael Penix Jr. led the country in passing at Washington, a Power 5 school, 8th in the final polls, top 10 team, and nobody gives a shit. They didn't say he was in the Heisman running whatsoever. So the amount of season that Shedeur Sanders needs to have to be a Heisman finalist is probably unrealistic. Okay? It's probably unrealistic, just so you know. Thoughts on Texas Tech this upcoming season and their quarterback room? Morton is my high school coach. My high school coach. All right, Cade. So yeah, Morton, he's gonna get his shot to be the backup, right? Because Donovan just left. So shout out to him. I think Texas Tech is poised to be a great team. That's just the way it goes. I really like Texas Tech and where they're headed. So that's all I can say about it. I hope that Shuck can stay healthy. That's all I can say about it. That's not what Sanders is thinking. Okay, that's fine. Rashawn Salam won it. Yes, he did. R.I.P. We need parity. Yeah, we do. I told Keenan Marion good luck when he transferred, Rico, and he liked my comment. Shout out to you. Yeah, Keenan Marion. This is a Georgia kid. Good athlete. Transferring out of UConn. Probably the second best wide receiver out of UConn. And we'll see where he goes. Well done, Rico. Thank you very much. Don't know what I did. Got it. Thanks, Rico. Not sure. Love your show. COVID years. Michigan running back number 1. Okay. Midnight Mail. I'm Superman. The hell are you talking about? I'm getting up my early learning. Okay. Pass defense is going to be good. I need a few more bodies in the front 7. Everybody does. Why did TCU look like a high school against Georgia in the national championship? TCU not making adjustments whatsoever at halftime. Doesn't matter, Daddy Bryant, whether they make adjustments or not. Sometimes when you match up with a team, you don't match up well. And TCU didn't match up well. I don't think it's any indication of how good TCU was. When you look at a team like Kent State or Missouri play Georgia a lot closer than TCU did, that doesn't mean they're better teams. It's just they were better that day, and they were on all cylinders. I think TCU had some matchup issues. I don't think some of their players matched up well. It's hard. When you start looking at like a K-State, K-State couldn't beat Bama. Go back and look at the recruiting classes. K-State had 0 4-star players. They had 3-star players at every single position. You can coach the shit out of 3-star players. You can bridge that gap and make 3-star players good. You can coach them like crazy. But at the collegiate level, talent reigns supreme. And if you got 5-star kids everywhere, doesn't matter how good of a coach you are, you can't overcome that talent gap. And that's what TCU understood and realized, and it came to the forefront last year in that national title game. You can do well and you can be coached and get through it, but it's not the same. And this is why Ohio State matched up so evenly with Georgia, right? Ohio State should have won that game. It took a miracle for Georgia to win that game. And, a missed kick. But Ohio State has 5-star athletes. And those athletes can bridge that gap. There's no talent gap there. So it's a more competitive game. It's not going to be competitive when you get to a Big 12 champ or a team that's overachieving with a backup quarterback and Max Duggan. That's not their starter at the beginning of the year. Their starter was Chandler Morris. So people just need to keep that in perspective. At the collegiate blowouts in the college football playoffs, so many blowouts in those 4 teams. There's going to be a ton of blowouts in the 12. Oh my goodness, there are going to be blowouts everywhere because the talent isn't equivalent. Coaching is probably better. K-State coaching is great. The coaching is probably better at some of these other schools. Can't bridge that gap. You can do it when the talent's a little closer, but that's what happened with the Georgia team. Good night, Rico. Good night, Cindy. Good night, Cindy. Trying to catch up in chat, guys. We're almost there. Are you saying you watched Khalil Mack? So you're saying you watched. I don't understand what you're saying, Frosting. Bro, I'm going to eat my weekly bunny and listen to you rip these kids. Okay? Shout out to you. I'm not trying to rip nobody. Prime recruiting a lot of speed. Yep, speed is the name of the game. You can't teach speed. Who's winning Alabama quarterback battle? Well, you don't sign a quarterback and bring him in. Tyler Buckner's coming in. You don't sign him in. You don't bring him in to be a backup. He was already a backup at Notre Dame. He's not coming to back up at Alabama. It's his offensive coordinator. Reese is his offensive coordinator. He's comfortable in the offense. He knows terminology. And I'll tell you what, Reese saw these other 2 quarterbacks and goes, hey, I got a better guy at the other school. I see these 2 guys, but I got a better guy at the other school. Let's give that guy an offer. Now I want you to ask yourself, how many players has Alabama signed? How many players has Alabama signed out of the transfer portal? The answer is 3. They got Tresman Marshall, linebacker out of Georgia, C.J. Dippre, backup tight end from Maryland, and now they got a quarterback. They signed 3 guys. They don't have scholarships to give. They're not wasting scholarships on a backup quarterback. Some action. The only way they could ever sign Tyler Buckner is if they know he's going to start or they know one of their quarterbacks is leaving. I think Buckner's a starter. Oh, by the way, if you can't start at your school, transfer to the SEC. Because you can transfer to the SEC and start. That's what happens in the SEC. Backup quarterbacks transfer in and start. Hendon Hooker, Joe Milton, Jake Garcia, Jackson Dart, Rattler. I mean, Devin Leary just came in, but he's a starter, but whatever. Jaden Daniels transferring in. His school hated him after that. And now you got Buckner trade. We're talking about 8 starting quarterbacks in the SEC, bro. Just transfer to the SEC. You can't start at your school, you can start there. Because they don't recruit quarterbacks correctly down in the South. They don't develop them. They don't know what to do with them. You got to get California quarterbacks come out. You got to get Matt Corral come out. Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud going to Ohio State. Get California kids to come save the SEC. Brock Bowers, California kid, saving Georgia. Fucking unicorn. You guys got to look at this, man. Graham Mertz can't start at his school anymore. Just go down to Florida, bro. You can start there. You can start in the SEC. It's a fact. I don't hear no SEC dudes tell me it's not. I'm letting you know right now. I think Troy Taylor will turn Stanford around like he did at Sacramento State. He's a good coach. Yeah, Jim Vaz. Troy Taylor's a hell of a coach. If you guys don't know, he was the Sacramento State head coach. Just got hired at Stanford. The reason he can't turn them around is Stanford doesn't allow undergraduate transfers. It's very difficult to get them approved. So they only had like 1 in the winter, and now they've gotten like 2 or 3. But it's not comparable. They're getting guys from like Princeton. So what Stanford has said is we're not going to allow transfers in unless they are equivalent to our academic standard. We want to be one of the premier universities in the globe, out there with Oxford University and Harvard, right, and Princeton. So they're not even allowing transfers in unless it's like they got a Princeton running back coming in. I like the kid. But Stanford is not allowing undergraduate transfers. The first one was Gavin Barthadell this year, Barthadell from FIU. That's the first one I've seen. And then the other kid was from like A&M, but that was last year. He was a graduate transfer. So it's so difficult. David Shaw, that's why he resigned. That's why David Shaw quit. David Shaw saw exactly what USC did in 1 year. He said, I can't do that here. I can't compete with the transfer portal. My university, my organization doesn't allow me to use the transfer portal that way. So you got to recruit your ass off, and you got to hit in recruiting. And Stanford recruits well. They recruit just fine. They get good players. But you cannot compete because you can't get players out of the transfer portal. Northwestern's suffering from the same thing. But there's no appeal there. But I'm telling you, Stanford cannot use the transfer portal. It's the school. It's the school. Rico, I just started watching you. A real one, study college players at an insane rate. I appreciate your work. Thank you very much, Madden Franchise. Yeah, there's nobody who knows the players like me. Nobody puts in the work I do. And I appreciate you guys for noticing it, recognizing it. Hopefully you guys share and let the world know about me, and we get this movement on the road. Rico, I'm saying Coach Prime's impact on HBCUs was major. He set the bar for coaching and recruiting. This is true. And you bleed like I bleed, soldier. I don't want no smoke. I'm dying to live, player. Okay, I feel you. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. Some of us just do it faster than others. But I'm with you. Yeah, I'm sure he set the bar high. He helped recruiting and coaching. But one thing they need is they need a TV contract. They need a channel where people can go and watch the games. That will get the kids to want to play at HBCUs. I don't want to hear about bands. I don't want to hear about band week and rivalry week and all that. No, kids will start going to HBCUs. They'll get better talent at HBCUs if they had a TV deal. That's the reality. RG3 went 7-4 and won the Heisman at Baylor. Okay. We got one example. We got one. In the history of the Heisman, we got one. Man, I'm worried about some of you guys sometimes. Chandler Morris, your opinion. Fragile, great quarterback. Go watch his game against Baylor. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Watch Chandler Morris, his first start. He was the Big 12 Player of the Week against Baylor. I think he throws for 450 yards and rushes for 100 and 200 yards. Something crazy. Go watch the game. Chandler Morris against Baylor. And all you guys who think TCU is going to be terrible, because they're not going to be as good, go watch Chandler Morris against Baylor. And go see what kind of player you're up against. Go see what Chandler Morris, if he's healthy, you don't want any piece of that guy. You don't want no part of Chandler Morris. I'm letting you know now. You don't want no beef with that man. 335 didn't help TCU either. This is true. Pitt Marine, never been a hater. Find something safer than the keyboard banging. I like Pitt Marine, dude. That guy was cool. What do you think? Who do you think starts at quarterback for UConn? Colin Bola, I never really looked into it. I know I saw 2 quarterbacks leave. Let me double check so I'm accurate here. I'll pull it up. Transfers coming in. What am I looking at? I'm missing somebody. This isn't everybody. This is trash. Yeah, I saw Tyler leave. I thought he was going to go to UMass with his brother. I don't know. I know you guys are struggling, trying to make a decision. Just logged on. Any word on Savelle Wilkerson? No, just a bunch of people saying it's going to happen. So there we go. From one soldier to another, salute. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Pit Marine. Yeah, I pride myself on having the ability to articulate what's going on in the transfer portal, in college football, in sports, and doing it in a way that's informed, and I can speak very clearly, and I can break it down for anybody, whether it be a coach, a fan, or the uninformed, right? I'm with you guys. Hey, guys, it's late. We're approaching midnight. I've been talking about sports for 3 hours. I appreciate everybody who was here for the live stream. I apologize if I didn't get to your questions. Just please share the live. Let people know what we're doing around here. We're on our way to the top. We're going to be something. And I'm going to be live streaming probably every night if we want to talk sports. Or I can just, do it a couple nights a week. We'll figure it out. But I appreciate every single one of you. Give me a second here. I'm trying to pull something up. I have to be careful. I can't play music on my lives. But thanks for hanging with me tonight. It's important to me. Just remember, not everybody knows, but Rico knows. All right, y'all. Peace.
You've been lost and alone in the city of lights and up. Getting hot, feeling low, and it's out of your control. You should know that